I don't want to talk about the fact that I may or may not have set everything up before I downloaded the updated game. So give me a second. There we go. There we go. Hey, hi, hello, how are you? My name is Cal, your resident exhausted salaryman that's just here to play games. Also, let me know how the volume is, because I want you to be able to hear the music, but I also don't want it to drown me out, because I'll be reading the story. Okay, disclaimer! 1. I've played maybe 2 visual novels before in my life. So, sorry in advance. Music is a bit quiet. Ooh, let's turn it up a bit. There we go. So if I'm like a dumbass and can't get through something, sorry in advance. We'll see how that works and if I can get through it. Second disclaimer: I'm not a poppet specifically. I'm like obviously like an Ocean law. So there's gonna be a lot of things that go over my head. If after I finish a scene and there was some big reference or something that's like core to him or something that's just like hee hee haha big thing, let me know. I don't mind. Yeah, a lot of things are gonna go over my head, but I love VTuber like fan-made visual novels because there's always a ton of passion and stuff put into this, and this one comes very highly recommended. So yeah. I'm gonna stop yapping, considering I'm already like, how late? It's fine. Yeah, thank you guys for making it. I was following the creation of it, Smiles. I'm very excited to try. Let's see. Fuck around with a couple things. I also might move myself around. I'm not sure where the best place for me to sit is. But yeah, let's look at the credits real fast. Smiles, gestures, show left, show right. Let me move myself out of the way. Hell yeah. Big ass team. Y'all are great. Hell yeah. Don't need to be a puppet to understand the story. Perfect. Perfect. Alright. Let's go. I'm excited. Even just the music from the beginning, I'm just like, okay, what are we in for? Because I'm a weenie when it comes to like spooky things. What is your name? Octavio's puppet show is about to start any minute now. You stand in the wings of the ramshackle theater, peering through the red curtains. Look at that. It's so cute. You can hear the crowd's whispers. Some are excited, some seemingly wary. There are a few new faces among them. The sight of them all makes your knees shake. You don't feel like you're in tip-top shape to perform right now. You had figured that this feeling would simply leave on its own, but it's lingering. You find yourself lost in your thoughts, so much so that you don't notice. There he is! There he is! I'm not gonna do crazy voices for people, because I can't. It's gonna be inconsistent, but... Are you alright? It's him! You nearly jump out of your skin at Octavio's sudden presence beside you. He laughs as you almost stumble onto the stage instead of him. Kneeling down to your height, he pats your head. Are you nervous for your first show? You nod, not meeting his eyes as you fiddle with your fingers. You didn't think it was that obvious. Well, don't be. You're one of my puppets, remember? Made and molded from my skilled hands as well as strung to my melody. You'll do just fine, little one, just like all the others. You chitter, not finding it in yourself to believe him. This is your first time being on stage. What if you mess up a step, or trip? That would be a disaster. If you mess up, you'll probably never perform with Octavio again. He's given you such an important task, you can't afford to... You feel a light flick on your forehead. You look up, confused. Hey, I can feel you overthinking, you know. Listen up. Your eyes follow his finger as he pokes your torso. I gave you this jailed heart for a reason. You trust me, don't you? You give him a small nod. Then believe me when I say that you've got this. You're a brave poppet, okay? He gives you a smile. You cannot help but smile back. You feel yourself relaxing in his gaze, feeling all your worries and doubts vanish in an instant. It reminds you of the day you first met him. You remember the light that blinded you when you woke up, his grin of satisfaction during the night of your creation. You were confused. You didn't know where or who you were, but he looked at you as though the two of you had worked together for ages. You can't help but wonder if... A stagehand's yell snaps the both of you back into the present. There's still a show to do after all, and it can't start without the maestro himself. Well, that's my cue. He stands up straight and turns to you, flashing one last smile. Break a leg, all right? I'll see you on stage. There he goes. Oh, the little... I love the little... Oh, no, the puppet's so cute! You watch him fix his coat, taking a deep breath before stepping toward the center stage. This is so cute. Just a little guy. Just a little guy. Oh, and he's so cute. So sparkly. The strings on his coat start to hum, readying the first notes of a song and giving him a slight glow. He cuts a striking silhouette, as grand as the night you first met. Right? He's so cute. He looks so smug. You hold your breath as the stagehand counts down the seconds. It's showtime. Ooh. The puppet show begins. The curtains part and you watch as the stage lights fall on Octavio. He gives the audience a bright smile before holding his hands up to start the music. You watch as he waves his hand and feel the other puppets run past you onto the stage just as he commands. Oh my god, the music. You can hear the audience's excitement from the wings, erupting into applause as the show truly begins. It always amazes you how easy it is for him to perform so perfectly. Of course, you know that Octavio must have come a long way to be this good. You don't know why, but you feel like you also put lots of time into something worthwhile. You can feel your brain picking at itself, trying to remember why. You can feel it settle on a place, somewhere far, a place where one wrong move could make the house of cards crumble. Somewhere beyond the first night you woke up. Huh. Oh! Thank you, thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my greatest honor to present to you my newest poppet. It's your cue. Now, you mustn't judge a book by its cover. The heart inside this poppet more than makes up for their size, similar to how even a mouse can stand up to a voracious lion. Everyone, please greet them with a round of applause. You dutifully walk over to the center of the stage as everyone applauds. You wave eagerly to the audience, matching their smiles with a graceful bow. Then, you straighten yourself up and hold your hands up as though you were about to conduct an orchestra. In case you don't believe me, I'll show you all just what I mean. Octavio clears his throat. Behold, with my baton, I will... The audience gasps as Octavio produces nothing but empty air from within his coat. Octavio only laughs as he looks around the stage. Oh my, where could I have placed it? Does anyone know? The audience murmurs quietly, some craning their heads to try and spot the baton themselves. The rest of the poppets look around inquisitively too, pretending that they don't know where it is. But you all do. Aha! Up there! Octavio points to the very top of the set. Your gaze follows his finger, where you see it dangling in front of the immense moon backdrop, his baton held up by a string. Well, since my new poppet is the star of the show here, Octavio turns to the audience, motioning to you enthusiastically. They will climb up there and get my baton themselves. He gestures to the loose path created by the rest of the set, along with a neat lattice of his strings crisscrossing between them. You take a few seconds to catch your breath, to calm your nervous heart. You practiced and rehearsed this performance countless times, but even so, the idea of finally doing it seriously weighs heavily on you. As you clamber your way up the set, you're cautious with each step and hold of the stage's bound materials. You can hear Octavio's voice from below, giving a running commentary you think you recognize from rehearsal. Look at them go. They're doing very well, aren't they? I'm not even using my strings. Oh, he's so cute. Which means, if they were to fall, they'd be in deep trouble indeed. Well, you should expect that. It greatly ups the stakes and certainly hooks the audience's attention even more. You feel pleased that everyone is entertained. But that feeling quickly vanishes when you reach the part of your performance where you failed the most. The baton dangles before you, almost as if it's egging you on. Is it just you, or is it closer than usual? Maybe you can do this without jumping for it. You shuffle closer, clinging onto the set for support, while one of your hands reaches for the baton. Swipe! You almost had it. Another swipe. Damn, now it's further away. Okay, this time you've got it. Eh? You hear the slightest crack. Swiping. As you brace for your leap, the set piece supporting you suddenly lurches, and you slip. You feel the wind whipping your face as the crowd gasps, watching with bated breath as you plummet towards the ground. But the sudden impact you're expecting never comes. Instead of the hard stage, you feel your body collide with a warm, gloved hand, Octavio's smiling face above you as you sit up. Just as you're about to apologize, you feel something large, long and thin land softly on your lap. You look down. Oh no, this is so cute! It's the baton! Oh, this is so cute. Just a little guy. Just a little guy. Also, I don't think I ever noticed that his baton was like that fucking beautiful. You look back up at Octavio, confused as to how it even fell when you didn't manage to grab it in time. Not missing a beat, Octavio promptly smiles and takes his baton from your lap. Oh, this is beautiful. He only gives you a brief conspirator's wink before turning to the audience with his baton in one hand and you in the other. He's so sparkly and shiny. The poppet's just like, what the fuck, man? So cute. Also, fucking kudos to the artists that are drawing all his tiny little details. God damn. Let's give it up for my brave poppet for retrieving my baton unscathed, everybody. He presents you to the applauding audience, and you quickly break away from your momentary stupor. You stand and bow gracefully to the audience like that fall was the plan all along. Octavio puts you down after a long round of claps, and you scurry back into the wings, proud of yourself for a job well done and not entirely fumbled, you think. You have to do detail checks, he has so many. Yeah, I believe it. I can believe it. My favorite thing is when, like, I follow a bunch of artists, and sometimes I see them post shit, and they're like, fuck, I forgot his fucking clips, or something like that. And it's for, like, every VTuber, because VTuber designs are just getting more and more, like, intricate, and so people post shit and then like 5 minutes later they're like, fuck, I forgot XYZ, like an earring or a button or something, and I'm like, y'all are God's strongest soldiers. I don't know. Good fucking luck. You watch the rest of the show from the wings. You've seen the song and dance many times over, and yet it never gets old. You believe that you can do the whole spectacle with your eyes closed, though your precision may only go so far. Before you know it, the show's over. The other poppets file off the stage as Octavio bids the audience farewell. The applause continues even as the curtains draw to a close. He turns to you and the other poppets with a smile. Congratulations on a job well done, everyone. Make sure to pack up all the props first before getting the set pieces. We wouldn't want another ripped seam, would we? Everyone gets to work, filling the backstage area with shuffling footsteps and cheerful chitters. A few gather the smallest props and put them away, while most of them busy themselves with folding the costumes and cleaning up after everyone else. You look around and decide to help out with the cleaning. Octavio holds you back before you can take another step. You wonder for a moment if you're about to get scolded for literally slipping up your part of the show, but instead, he scoops you up and sets you on his shoulder. You were great out there. I knew you could do it. And the crowd loved you, by the way. Be a little proud. You look at him with confusion. You clearly remember failing to grab the baton and think it was sheer luck that it fell into your lap. Octavio waves you off. Ah, you were close enough. That wasn't luck. That was theater magic, Poppet. I let my strings drop just as you fell. You could have gotten it if the set didn't break. I should triple check everything beforehand next time. And besides, he gives your head a light tap. You didn't think I'd let you fail in front of everyone, did you? Like a bridge, my strings go both ways. I know you've got me. He taps your chest. And I've got you. Okay? You stare at his finger for a moment before looking up at him and nodding. When he smiles, you hope he knows that you're smiling back just as brightly towards him. Your conversation comes to an end just in time for a stagehand's footsteps to reach your ears. They're probably here to tell Octavio that everything used in the performance is already taken care of. Ah, I almost forgot about the others. Cute! Octavio sighs as he scoops you into his hand and tucks you into his coat. It's a tight fit, but at least it's comfy. Certainly beats being crammed into the scuffet jar back home. The fucking what? The fucking... Does he shove poppets into a jar? Good for him. Come along. We shouldn't keep them waiting. Oh. 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 Eh? A sudden impact. Octavio lurches, pain flashing across his face above you before... You feel him fall forward, body slackening against you. The back of your head hits the floor harshly, making your vision swim even in the darkness inside the coat. You can feel Octavio's strings loosen their attachment to you as your world tilts on its axis, slipping further and further away. It isn't long before you lose consciousness. Oh shit. You bonked, idiot. Yeah, bonked for putting poppets in a jar. Oh shit. Fucking text box change. There. Familiar softness. Fabric. Information greets you as you test your surroundings. Dull, nonsensical images float through your mind. Of course, you were with the maestro, tucked safely into his... Maestro. Memory surges into your mind along with a horrific realization. Instead of feeling the comforting presence of his chest, you feel what could only be the hard ground through the coat's pocket. Octavio was gone. With a panicked squeak, you poke your head free of the coat pocket. What in the Bioshock? For a moment, you think you are still in the coat, but flickering shadows and a strange buzzing prove otherwise. Your attention is drawn to rows of freezers lining the far wall. For a moment, you wonder if you've been brought back to Octavio's puppet theater. No. No, it can't be. He would never let it get this filthy. That just makes you panic even more. Why are you here all alone in such a foreboding and nasty place? Was Octavio secretly upset that you had failed your routine? Or had he gotten hurt? Oh, they're shaking! His presence through the strings feels strange, you realize. You need to find him. You must find him. Your head whips around the room, looking for any glimpse of... You see him! He's here! Oh shit. Heyo? Heyo? I mean, oh no. He's in a chair close to you, restrained by thick ropes. His eyes are closed, head horribly limp. It's as you feared. You move faster than you ever have before, darting out of the coat and towards the maestro. You clamber up his leg, his torso, his arm, until finally you're perched atop his shoulder. Your fear ebbs slightly when soft breath tickles your ear. He is alive. Now he just needs to be awake so you can both find a way to leave. You chitter. No response. You let out a noise akin to a muffled shout. Still no response. You raise all 6 of your arms and start rapidly poking Octavio in the face. His nose scrunches up and a low sigh escapes him. His eyes open, blinking blearily before focusing on you. It's so cute. Smack him. Yank on his braids. Annoyance. He's told you all several times before that you are supposed to sleep in the workshop. His bedroom is off limits. The back of your head suddenly starts throbbing as if in pain. But both of you wince. Sudden clarity, remembrance, the unpleasant sensation of being watched far too closely. You shouldn't stare into an abyss, Poppet, especially when someone is watching. You recoil as if you've been electrocuted. The curtain is lowered. The maestro has ascended to the spotlight. Octavio in his entirety has walked backstage, out of sight of curious Poppets. Don't fret. It'd be foolish to punish you for something you had no intention of doing. And more importantly, the ropes creak as Octavio tries to move from the chair and promptly finds it impossible. Frowns. This is certainly new, and a problem. It brings you the slightest bit of relief that you haven't upset Octavio, but relief alone won't free him from his current predicament, nor can you in this state. You're right, Poppet. As much as I'd like to enjoy the novelty of being kidnapped, my neck is starting to get stiff. Icon. I can feel my baton close by, so that means it's probably still in my coat. He smiles brightly at you, in the way he does right before he asks you to do something. Can you fetch it for me? I'm a little indisposed at the moment. Eager to go home, you clumsily climb off the maestro, almost slipping before you ultimately make it safely to the ground. You pause for a moment and think. You had not felt the baton while in his coat pocket, so it should be in the other one. You rush towards the coat, throwing the fabric over and plunging all 6 of your hands into the pocket in desperate search of the baton. And yet, for all your searching, when you pull your hands free, you only have Octavio's wallet and a handful of lint to show for it. You chitter, distressed. Of course it isn't here. That would be too easy. His eyes close for a moment before reopening. I suppose I was right in a fashion. It is close by, in that it is somewhere in this building. Octavio cocks his head, nose twitching. Formaldehyde. Oh, that's comforting. A hospital, then, which would make this its morgue. He clicks his tongue. I don't recognize this particular one, though. A look you don't recognize crosses his face and leaves just as swiftly as it appeared, but for a moment you swear you feel something akin to nervousness through the strings. No, that can't be correct. Octavio doesn't fear anything. Does he? Now worried yourself, you deliberately chirp at him in an attempt to get his attention. The likelihood is so low, and yet it would. He turns to look at you and gives you a wan smile. It's nothing, Poppet, just thinking out loud. He sighs dramatically, as if he was entertaining an unseen audience. Well, it seems we'll have to wait here until our captors decide to come for us. Unless... He deliberately motions his head towards the wall across from him. Your gaze follows. It is clear what he is gesturing at are the double doors leading outside. You tilt your head, trying to piece together what he means. Surely they would be locked, and even if they weren't, there's no way you could reach the handles without the baton. Then you spot it, a tiny hole at the bottom where the lower corners of the doors have been worn down by use. I wish I didn't have to ask this of you. Oh my god, the way I said that, it was like, good morning, princess. Let me fucking stop that. Hamster-sized Poppet. I wish I didn't have to ask this of you, Poppet, but I'm left with no other choice. I need you to leave this room and find my baton in my stead. A moment passes as what he asked sinks into your head. Your reply is to squeal in terror at the prospect. Me too. I also would fucking scream and be like, nope, we'll just die together. Shh, it's okay. You're small enough that no one will notice you if you're careful. You whine and protest, not out of stubbornness, but out of fear. The curtain is lifted ever so slightly. Warmth that does not belong to you flows into your heart. You must be brave, Poppet. I know you're scared, but I'll be with you. You feel something very deliberately poke your arm, though you see nothing there. Octavio winks at you. See? His words echo in your head. It will be as if I'm right by your side. The knot in your chest loosens, only to get tangled once more when you see his face turn stern. I can guide you to the baton, but you have to promise me you won't linger. I don't know who brought us here and what they want, but I'm not asking you to find out. He pauses briefly. I'll handle everything once you retrieve my baton, Poppet. I assure you. The unreadable expression is back on his face, and the maestro has withdrawn his feelings from the strings. It is clear that there is nothing more to be done in this room. You give him a tiny nod and look at the door. Light filters through the gap, both inviting and foreboding. You take a step and pause, nerves clawing up your stitched spine. You turn your head to look at Octavio in an attempt to calm yourself. Tied up and shrouded in flickering light and shadow, he gives you a small nod but says nothing. You must be brave. You must be brave. You approach the gap, place your hands on the doors, and slip through. Mercifully, the outside room is not as scary as you had feared it to be. It's just that. A room. It is darker than the morgue, however, to the point it takes you a moment to notice the flight of stairs right in front of you. Your ears droop. Stairs. Of course, of all things, it has to be stairs. You've never liked climbing them, but there's no other option at the moment. This music fucks. And I'm glad I have all my lights on. Oh, shit. After some time and quite a bit of difficulty, you manage to ascend the staircase. OC team cooked. Yeah, already. Already. Poppet, what's going on? Oh, let me... I don't want to block the secondary sprite. What if I just... put myself there? I'll just peek. I'll peek. You hope you can somehow convey the idea of horribly tall stairs to him through your mind. There we go. That works. I'll just be itty- Wait, what if I made myself itty-bitty? I can do that. I forgot. Itty-bitty. Poppet-sized. Go. Poppet-sized. Nice! Hee that explains why you feel so winded. Me too, also. Anytime I have to climb stairs. Fucking train station that I usually get off at whenever I commute to work. The escalator the up escalator, of course, has been fucked for like 3 weeks now. I'm not about to climb up 5 flights of stairs directly before work. So I get off on a different stop because I had to do that a couple times and got to the top and just kind of sat there like... So, yeah, mood. You can hear him hum to himself. I will remind you, Poppet, that as much as I'd like to, I can't see through your eyes. Our minds are connected through the strings, but not our senses. Then how will he be able to help you? Pretend that you are painting a picture, but instead of paint, it is with what you see, and the canvas is made of your thoughts. Does that make sense? You think for a moment before agreeing. That's great! Now what do you see, Poppet? You focus on what's in front of you, taking in as much detail as you can, even with the ever-present gloam, and hope that Octavio can parse it. Gloom, gloom, gloom. Yeah. You're in a hallway. Doors line the walls, each leading into its own room. A gurney rests under a nameplate, bathed in sickly light by what appears to be an exit sign at the far end of the corridor. I knew this was a hospital. The condition here is somehow even worse than in the morgue. Even in the dim light, you can see strange stains upon the floor and even the walls, almost reaching the ceiling. You wonder what happened here. Poppet, can you get closer to one of those stains? I need to be sure of something. You walk forward. You promptly step on something slippery and almost fall flat on your face. Thankfully, your training for the puppet show kicks in and you recover your balance. You huff in annoyance and glare at the culprits, a thin piece of plastic and a crumpled sheet of paper. You pick them up, focusing first on what you now see is an ID card. Aria Salvador, Chief Medical Officer. Sunrise Center for Specialized Palliative Care. Ooh. 1, 2, 3. 28901. Okay. I was like, oh my god, did they hide a secret in here? Like his birthday? No. Wait, why would it be his birthday on her? Anyway, ignore me. An old ID card, its edges worn down, the surface yellowed with age. On the left is a picture of a woman. Her hair is pulled up in a neat bun, a few strands framing her face, and clear glasses sit lightly on her nose. Her expression is composed, eyes filled with determination. There's a subtle quirk at the corner of her lips, something knowing. She looks like someone who observes everything and misses nothing. Above the photo, embossed text contrasts against a faded background. You trace your tiny fingers over the raised lettering. Sunrise Center for Specialized Palliative Care. Just beneath, in larger font, is the name, Dr. Aria Salvador. Below, her title is clearly marked, Chief Medical Officer. Dr. Aria Salvador. You toss the ID card to the side and carefully unfold the paper. Oh, you know what this is. A show pamphlet, one you recognize. So cute, the little dancing poppets. Oh, and there's like set design with the like moon behind it. Sick. Okay. Its edges are torn, corners softened by time and handling. You try to smooth it as carefully as you can, bright colors peeking through the wrinkles. Against a lavish backdrop featuring the full moon, the maestro stands at the center of the stage beneath the spotlight, his baton raised in a familiar, welcoming pose. At his feet, 2 poppets sit obediently, bright, curious eyes turned towards the viewer, waiting for the show to begin. Dark red curtains decorate the sides of the stage. Above them, Octavio's Puppet Show gleams in curling gold letters. You turn the pamphlet over. Scrawled across the back in tight, narrow handwriting pressed sharply against the paper is a single line. This has gone far enough. The writing is precise, controlled, the letters narrow and pressed close together, written in a rush by a hand too tense to relax. They crowd the line, leaving barely any space to breathe. I like that description. You drop the poster, hands shaking. You do not know exactly what that phrase means, but the intention is clear. An unsatisfied customer, Poppet. Nothing more and nothing less. You aren't sure an unsatisfied customer would say something like that, but before you can protest any further, Octavio abruptly shuts you down. I told you not to linger. And what are you doing? Lingering. The baton is clearly not here, and you need to move on before someone comes in. He's right. You know that he's right, that every second you spend here is more fraught with danger than the last, but his manner makes you uneasy. He's not usually this bold. End of Act 1. Ooh, the setup. I know, I was like, oh, the way I'd die. I just like keel over and die. Like, sorry. My bad. Didn't mean to fucking breathe. Ooh. Remember, Poppet, just keep focused on finding my baton. The faster you can find it, the sooner we can leave this place. With Octavio's reminders echoing in your head, you creep down the hospital hallway. I wish that one music back. Please bring music back. It being silent freaking me out. Quiet feels unnerving. The light of flickering fluorescent tubes above offering you little comfort. Shadows and silhouettes dance in the corner of your eye, making you believe you are not alone. Wait, did something just groan? You don't want to stick around to find out, so you hurry, nearly tripping over the cracked tiles. At the end of the hallway, you find an open space with what looks to be an office. A tall counter surrounds several desks with medical and office supplies scattered around. Oh, it's a nurse's station, so this place is still operating despite all the wear and tear. Thank God for the fucking... Oh, it feels softer too. Which makes sense considering this is lit and not freaky as hell. You chirp in agreement, wondering the same. Glancing around, you wonder if the baton is anywhere close by. I still can't feel it, but I suppose you ought to double check the place. You just keep it quick and be careful. That warning serves little to ease your worries. You step closer to the station and find large red lettering painted on the wall. Sunrise Center for Specialized Palliative Care. That's the name of this place. As you move closer to inspect, you are startled by the sound of footsteps. Poppet, hide quickly! You don't look, you don't think, you simply obey, scrambling for the nearest hiding spot. A medical trolley sitting just outside the station. Oh, so little. Pickle baby. Trembling, you skitter up onto the lower tray and hide behind boxes of medical supplies. Your little figure sits still while you hold your breath, hoping the trolley's contents provide you with enough cover. Oh, hello. You wait for a while, and thankfully, no further footsteps approach. That was too close. Whoever that was, it's lucky they haven't noticed you yet, Poppet. Yet. You sigh in relief, but you are still not out of danger. Your hollow eyes catch sight of 3 people. One doctor, reviewing folders by the filing cabinet, and 2 nurses, whispering beside a large notice board. They look strangely ordinary. Certainly not the type of people you'd expect to be involved in a kidnapping. Except... What is it, Poppet? You're tense. You chitter uneasily, eyeing their uniforms. Although they are relatively clean, you notice the rips and holes in the doctor's coat and the mismatched patchwork repairs on the nurse's scrubs. Octavio huffs softly, seemingly amused. This place looks like it's one singular budget cut away from closure. I'd give them points for still bothering with uniforms at all, only if they hadn't, kidnapped us. Fair. But you're right, they really don't look like the type to be involved in any shady business. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. Octavio goes silent for a bit, sensing for the baton's presence once more. He sounds frustrated once he speaks up. Still nothing. Once the staff aren't looking, you should keep moving, Poppet. However, as you're about to get off the trolley, the hospital staff begin to shuffle around the station. Best to stay put for now. You hear the staff conversing in hushed tones. Their movements seem uneasy and nervous, as if they're wary of anyone listening in. Long night for you too, huh? Double shift, so yeah, about as long as it gets. Ugh, and it doesn't help that this place gets so damn creepy after dark. If you two have time to complain, why not use that to check on our patients? We're already done with our rounds, Doctor. With so few inpatients, what do you expect? I mean, can you blame them if they don't want to be here? Look at this place. Almost everything here is on the brink of falling apart. What a different text box thing with the sunrise? Is it like that because sunrise in the sunrise? Ooh. Don't forget the somber atmosphere. I wouldn't want to stay here even if I was already on my deathbed. As much as I hate to say it, I agree. It truly breaks my heart to see our hospital come to this. Nothing changes, so I wouldn't be surprised if Dr. Salvador's charity connections just pull the plug on us. Doctor, don't jinx it! Salvador? Your ears perk up at the mention of the doctor's name. It sounds familiar. Oh, the ID card from before. Dr. Aria Salvador. Could they be the same person? There's no response from Octavio. You're about to ask him what he thinks when one of the nurses speaks up again. That reminds me, I heard something interesting from the night guard about the good doctor herself. Oh? What you got? Well, he claims he saw the doctor bringing in a patient tonight. Personally. The Dr. Salvador? Actually doing her job for once? I'll believe it when I see it. That's not the only weird part. The guard said that the patient came in all covered up, that he couldn't even see their face. And instead of bringing the patient to the wards, Dr. Salvador hustled the poor soul straight to the basement. The basement? Why there, of all places? The guard asked, and she lashed out at him, all agitated, saying that he should mind his own business. That sounds just about right for her. Still, it's unusual, even by her standards. Look, at least it's a step closer to actual work than her being locked up in her office all day with all those conspiracy theories. I know, right? She used to care about this place, about her patients. But now Dr. Salvador is just lost in her own little world. She has changed, you're right. But considering, you know. Oh, right. Forgot all about that. You watch as pity washes over everyone's faces. The second nurse looks guiltily at the floor. Grieving's just another part of the job, I suppose. But still, those two used to be so close. And with the stress of her position, anyone would be taking it badly. You're right. It's not easy to just move on, especially after losing your own. All of a sudden. Oh, shh. Oh, no. Oh, shh. All of a sudden, a haunting sound, shrill as laughter, fractured as sobbing, echoes through the halls. Conversation is cut short as the staff glance up warily. The sound crests and crashes like a wave, cutting through your heart deeply. Listening to it hurts, and you feel frightened to the core the longer it continues. Seconds pass, minutes pass, and finally, there's silence. Just as abruptly as the sounds had come, so did they go. Slowly, you peer out from the medical supplies to check on the hospital staff. No words are exchanged, but their faces say it all. A look of mutual, silent unease. Just as you think everything has settled down, loud footsteps thunder down the hallway. Peering in that direction, you spot a disheveled-looking nurse rushing to the station. He looks distressed while addressing the staff. Doctor, there you are. New patient in emergency. Another corruption beast attack. Another one? That's the 4th time this week. It is. No one is severely injured This one is severely injured, with a laceration running across the chest. His family is given first aid, but he's still bleeding profusely. Please, doctor, we need you in the emergency ward. There aren't enough doctors down there. Then we'll need all the help we can get. You two, go raid the North Wing for supplies and meet me down there. 2? And leave the desk unattended? I can stay back. The last time no one was here, Dr. Salvador bit our heads off. There's no time. I'll take responsibility if she makes an issue of this. You can return to your post once everything has settled down. All right, let's move. Oop, the Crocs! You watch as the doctor and the nurses spring into action, grabbing medical kits and charts from their desks. You squeeze yourself deeper between the supplies while they rush around the station. Thankfully, they do not grab the trolley you are currently in. Crocs. The sound of footsteps slowly fades into the distance. Let's see. Their voices grow soft and quiet until finally, there's complete silence. Your head peeks out from the medical tray, glancing in every direction to make sure you are safe and alone. Finally, I thought they'd never leave. Come on, Poppet. Hopping off the trolley, you are still shaken after everything you have learned and witnessed. That harrowing sound still lingers in your ears. Ye old Nurse Crocs, exactly. But despite that, you find yourself drawn to the mention of this Dr. Salvador. Why is that? Before you can dwell on those thoughts, a nagging voice cuts right through them. Poppet, we've spent enough time here already. What are you standing around for? You chitter in response, recalling what you've learned so far. The nurse's story, the patient brought in under the cover of dark, Dr. Salvador. It does seem like we have our culprit, which means she likely also has my baton. Alright, Poppet, go find this Dr. Salvador. Just remember to be careful. There is urgency in his voice, but also a hint of hesitation. You quietly wonder why, adding it to your growing list of questions. Seemingly sensing your uncertainty, Octavio chimes in once more. Poppet, remember why we're here and what it is that can get us out. Come on, go, before those people return. You gaze at where the hospital staff headed off to. No footsteps or voices hint at their return. Most likely, they're still preoccupied in the emergency room. Octavio is insisting you move forward, but your gut is telling you that there might be something of note to be found here. Perhaps something more about what's being done with the baton, or why Octavio was kidnapped. Surely it wouldn't hurt to have a quick look around, right? Oh shit. Stairs over there, maybe? Let's start with what's right next to us. Retracing your steps, you find the medical trolley where you hid moments ago. Now that you aren't panicking, you can give it a proper look. Maybe it'll show the, Octavio paper. The bottom tray is lined up with boxes of medical supplies and personal protective equipment. PPE! You can spot the area where you squeezed in. There's also another tray above it, but it's barely visible from down here. Perhaps there's something you can find on top, and the height can give you a better view of where to go next. Determined, you begin climbing up the trolley's legs. With a firm grip, you push yourself upwards, finding a familiar rhythm as you do. Finally, you reach the top and find more medical equipment and supplies, antiseptics, first aid kits, and various medications. Seems to be just any regular hospital trolley, Poppet, packed with the necessary supplies for any medical scenario. Still, you're pretty lucky that they didn't grab or search through this trolley while you were hiding in it. Thank your lucky stars indeed. Hopefully, that luck lasts for a while. So, now that you're up here, is there anything else you can find? You take several steps further into the tray, and that's when you feel it. An unsteady sensation as the whole assembly sways and rattles under your feet. You manage to stay in place, or perhaps it's the panic that helps you stay frozen on the spot. Why is the world suddenly turning? Is there an earthquake? You can't think too far into that as the shaking continues. Wait, what if something breaks or falls off the trolley? And that would make noise and bring those staff running back here. Lower yourself to the tray and crawl out of there. Do it slowly, or you might shift the trolley's balance again. You listen and follow his instructions without any complaint. Slowly but surely, you manage to get back to the post where you climbed up. Without further urging, you climb back down until your feet touch the hospital floor. Your legs still feel like gelatin as you collapse. Good save, Poppet. His praise goes unnoticed while you catch your breath and still your heart. After some time, you shake off the nerves and inspect what happened. Checking the trolley, you find it moved because the wheels are lopsided. Yikes. Well, that explains why the staff didn't take the trolley with them. At least nothing got broken in the end. You can still count yourself lucky, Poppet. Your response is a loud grumble, followed by a shake of the fist. Then, you hear the amused chuckle from your puppeteer. You know what? This gives me an idea. What if we had this kind of scenario during the puppet show? For a little more danger and excitement. Wait, he's got to be joking, right? Now I'm getting excited! Alright, Puppet, let's find that baton so we can get out of here and plan the next show. You glare at the medical trolley with much resentment as you leave. First, you didn't get to find anything, and now it has planted a dangerous idea in Octavio's mind. Looks like you won't be out of danger even after you leave this hospital. Even if the hospital staff have left the area, you still cautiously creep around the deserted nurses' station. And because there isn't anyone around, the unnerving feeling from before settles over you like a blanket. The furniture seems to loom over your little figure. You think you see eyes on the walls and movement every time the fluorescent tubes flicker. You turn around now and then, clutching your hands to your chest. Your heart is beating erratically, and your hands begin to shake. Poppet? Ah, wait a moment. It's alright. It's alright now. Calm down and breathe with me. Octavio's soft words of comfort into your mind. It takes some time, but you slowly relax after following his instructions. I'd be pissing myself. Like, straight up, I would not have left that little cart. Be like, sorry. Sever your connection and let me die. I'm not fucking moving. Fuck no, bitch. The hell? No. That's it. Slow breaths. There you go. Feeling better, Poppet? Good. How about we just move on from this place and look elsewhere for my baton? You chitter softly. Octavio may dislike your decision to continue investigating, but you are still adamant to stay. An annoyed sigh is heard. Fine. Just for a few more minutes. Got it? You send your thanks. At least he is kind enough to give you more time. A cold draft suddenly passes by you, and you shiver in place. It doesn't feel like the air conditioner. There's an open window close by. The wind responds with a stronger breeze, and you clutch your body for warmth. The sound of fluttering paper makes you look for the source, a large notice board hanging on the wall above you. The cold winds continue to blow, and they knock one of the papers off the board. Your eyes follow the paper while it slowly floats to the ground. You carefully drag the paper to a brighter area. As you spread it on the ground, you realize it's a newspaper clipping. Badlands doctor opens controversial hospital for... Ooh. The newspaper clipping in your hands feels like it will crumble with a tighter grip. Its paper is uneven, the color more of a yellowish brown than the white you suppose it had been back when it was first printed. The edges of the paper are slightly torn, two straight lines visible where it's neatly been folded before. You can clearly make out the headline: Badlands doctor opens controversial hospital for the corrupted. The bold lettering allowing you to read what it says without too much of a struggle. There's a big picture in the middle of it, the smaller writing around it mostly faded, barely legible. It's a nice picture, showing two people, doctors wearing white coats, standing in front of a building in the Badlands. The picture is heavily faded, but it still feels lively, delivering a deep sense of euphoria and fulfillment. The proud smile of the person on the right is still clearly visible, her happiness so palpable that it feels contagious, pulling on your heartstrings. You recognize her. She may look younger in this picture, but you recognize the glasses and the way her hair frames her face. A picture of the ID card you found earlier appears in front of your mind's eye for a second. You look at the other person, too, the one standing right next to the doctor. Their arm is thrown over the doctor's shoulder in a way that conveys a sense of familiarity between them. The second person's face is obscured, the intersection of the page's folding lines making it impossible to distinguish their features. It lends the picture a bit of an unsettling feeling, contrasting against the happiness it emits at first glance. Not wanting to linger on this feeling, you turn your eyes to the article itself. Former emergency physician Dr. Aria Salvador opens a hospital providing palliative care to corrupted patients. Around 5 years after the Sunrise Medical Center south of Schulteiren was abandoned due to it was up. Can I talk? Holy shit. Around 5 years after the Sunrise Medical Center south of Schulteiren was abandoned due to a devastating localized corruption outbreak, it has found a new purpose. The hospital, renamed the Sunrise Center for Specialized Palliative Care, under the lead of Dr. Aria Salvador, focuses on the provision of medical care to corrupted people. Dr. Salvador, a former emergency physician with experience in disaster relief operations following corruption beast attacks, is the first medical professional in Southern Elysium to establish a facility offering palliative care to patients afflicted with records corruption. Her extensive knowledge on corruption in the human body makes her a pioneer in this emerging and unconventional medical field. When asked about her motivations in pursuing this path, Dr. Salvador stated that corrupted people have been stigmatized for too long. They might be lucky enough to survive a beast attack, only to be shunned by their own communities and turned away from most medical facilities, stripped of their basic human rights to proper health care. And it's on us to change that. Through the palliative care the Sunrise Center is going to provide, I am certain that corrupted people will finally be able to live much longer and less painful lives. What an inspiring quote from Dr. Salvador. So that was why this hospital was established, for the sake of people afflicted with records corruption. You would be in awe of this doctor, if only she weren't your primary suspect for kidnapping Octavio. After finishing reading, your eyes focus on the photo, particularly on the second person beside Dr. Salvador. The nurses spoke about someone related to her. You didn't quite catch what their relationship was, but perhaps it could be this person? Your little hands gingerly trace the intersection folds on the newspaper clipping. The clipping and the photo show how happy and excited the doctors were during the hospital's opening, but you turn your gaze around you, taking in the bleak surroundings. Sure, this newspaper clipping shows how old this place is. But for it to come to this point, where almost everything is run down, even the way the personnel are talking about Dr. Salvador, and this person beside her, whatever happened to them? Where are they now? Are they perhaps doing a puppet show on stage? Or locked in the basement? Miles? The nurses mentioned something about that, and the doctor losing someone. Did that lead to all of this? I suppose they have fallen on hard times since then. The poor things. Almost makes me feel bad for them. Octavio's sarcastic remarks snap you back to reality. Right. Even if Dr. Salvador established this hospital with good intentions, that doesn't change your maestro's current predicament. Still, it doesn't stop you from feeling pity to see how things have turned out for everyone and this hospital. Well, are we done here, Poppet? We're still not close to finding my baton. You chitter softly in agreement. Standing up, you leave the newspaper clipping on the ground. Inflicted emotions swirl within you, but you think you've learned a bit more about this unusual doctor. Whether it's for the better or for the worse. You follow the edge of the counter to find the entrance into the enclosed office area. Several desks are lined up along the counter and in the middle aisle. Chairs are scattered in a disorderly manner, likely from when the personnel rushed out. Looking upwards, a soft blue light glows on one of the desks. What could that be? You pull the nearby chair to be your ladder. However, it's still difficult to climb as the wheeled chair rolls every time you move. Finally, you reach the top of the desk and take a look around. Stacks of paper, binder folders, and a mess of stationery are strewn about you. Someone definitely needs to organize their desk. Nonetheless, your main goal is in sight. You scurry over to the source of the cold blue light, a holo display. Poppet, what are you doing? You do not respond, and you place your tiny hands on the display. The screen immediately lights up, nearly blinding you. You squint to read what is on the new screen. An unknown name, perhaps one of the hospital staff, and a PIN code keypad. You stare at the screen for a while, thinking of combinations for the passcode. Octavio doesn't seem keen on this idea. Poppet, this is no time for guessing passcodes. Leave that display alone before you get into trouble. Even if he says that, you think you might find information in this machine. Perhaps you can give it a try. You make a guess and begin tapping on the keyboard. 5012. Wait, don't just type in whatever. Red warning text flashes on the screen. Login failed. The PIN code is incorrect. Try again. Poppet. You pull your hands back as if the screen burned your fingers. Octavio gives a long and deep sigh. He doesn't sound impressed. I warned you, Poppet. Why didn't you listen to me? You apologize and explain yourself. He seems to become more annoyed with your reasons. Finding information is one thing, but potentially alerting the hospital is what we should avoid in the first place. Whimpering sadly, you apologize once more. Your puppeteer hums, and you wait until he speaks up. The little cry is just a little guy. Just a little guy. He's trying to help. Come on. Come on. I know you mean well. You can be very brave, but this is more reckless than brave. What if the staff came back, or they have other security measures in place? His tone is firm, but you can sense the worry behind it. You nod and wipe away your tears. Anyway, it's not like the account got locked. Hopefully, the staff won't think too much about the error message when they return. Leave it alone now, Poppet. You better listen to me next time. You chirp enthusiastically in response. Before leaving the scene, you reach out and say goodbye to the cold blue display one last time. I know, so mean. Poppet's just a little guy. As you take in all the information you've learned, you hear the sound of footsteps approaching from a distance. They're already coming back. Poppet, we have to move. Now. Without missing a beat, you follow his orders and rush over to the large doorway. You push on the closed door, but find it too heavy to move. Is the door jammed? Don't give up, Poppet. Push with all you've got. Octavio's shouts of encouragement break through your fears and help ground you for a moment. You take one big, deep breath and, willing every part of your Poppet body, you push the door with all your might. Finally, a large enough gap appears and you rush to squeeze yourself in, just in the nick of time before the returning nurse can spot your quick escape. You scurry into the room, hastily diving to the side as the doors swing shut behind you. The nurse's footsteps echo across the tiles. You stay as still as you can, listening to them get closer as they return to their post. You don't dare to move until you hear them stop, standing to look around only when your surroundings go quiet. It looks to be— oh, fuck. Okay, 1, I hate hospitals. 2, fuck! My god! It's fine, fine. It looks to be a ward of some sort, though there's something about this place that feels off. It's much darker here than in the hallway. The fluorescents seem to work fine, the ones that are turned on at least. Many of them seem to be left off intentionally, leaving the stretchers lining the walls cast in dim, cool light. You can see human forms sprawled atop them, but it's hard to make out details. Save for the patients, there's no one else here but you. You're moving to step further into the center of the room when you notice movement at the edge of your vision. You flinch away, only to turn and see the splatters of inky black liquid on the floor. There's the sterile, stinging smell of bleach hanging in the air. Whatever this is, it's fresh. You wonder if this was the source of the movement you saw. Did something drip into it from above? But then the fluid's stark borders twitch. It's almost a spasm, as if it's alive. A brief flicker of prismatic color against the darkness. The shifts are unnaturally sharp, jolting from the rounded edges that have settled into the grout between the tiles. It flickered, like a glitching hologram display. Decidedly unnatural trait that sets your body alight with anxiety. Uneasily, you look at the smeared trail leading off from it that creeps up the nearest wall, then streaks across the door. You turn slightly, seeing where the floor at the doorway is speckled with it. How close did you come to touching it, or accidentally stepping in it? The more you notice, the heavier the atmosphere in the ward becomes. It's everywhere. God, yeah. The corruption, I think. It's as if an inkwell exploded, leaving jittering ichor in its wake, much of it pooling underneath the stretchers. It's corruption? Nice, okay. The curtains drawn between them have little fabric that is neither torn nor stained, struggling to give some weak degree of privacy. Fuck. The music's good at its job. However, I'm a little weenie. Please. I'm just a little guy. Okay. The patients themselves are indistinct, obscured aside from the vaguely human silhouettes sprawled over the mattresses. Oh, the glitch. Oh, yeah, I see the glitching now. You approach one of them timidly, peering into the shadows. Clawed hand grips the mattress, with contorting fingers bending in ways you're certain human hands are not meant to do. The skin looks stained, similar to the bile you've been seeing, clawing up the arm in the form of inky black veins. Shivering, you back away, not finding the willpower to look any closer. As if it'll soothe your building unease, Octavio's voice rings clear in your mind. Poppet? Where are you? He sounds concerned and of little comfort to you, confused. And why am I sensing so much records corruption there? His voice trails off in thought. Eh? You turn your attention to one of the largest displays of the glittering ichor, painting the wall behind one of the gurneys. Your vision falls to the mattress, or, more accurately, the body lying prone on it. Their arm hangs off the side of the bed, ink-drenched with corruption like the rest of the room. Below the elbow, their arm is split, the ulna and radius forking apart like antlers and ending in splintered, gnarled fingers. You turn away from the grotesque sight, hearing Octavio's faint hum in your mind. It's a familiar sound from him. There is a question on his mind, and now he's come up with an answer. I don't expect you'll find the baton here, Poppet. Though with this much corruption, it would be hard to sense anything other than that. You chitter to yourself, standing up a little straighter. If you can't be certain, then you'd need to stop. Octavio's command cuts through your mind, sharp as a blade's edge. It's enough to make you pause. That wasn't a suggestion to go rummaging around, especially not in a place with so much corruption. You need to focus on finding the baton, so no more of your little... He pauses like he's toying with the best tactful word to use to describe your recent behavior. Adventures. It's not safe, and not to mention a waste of time. You hesitate, teetering with uncertainty about how he could be so sure it wasn't here. After all, he just admitted to not being able to feel much through the corruption at all. Octavio clears his throat at your reluctance. You can find another way out of that room, can't you? I could feel your desperation to leave the moment you set foot inside. Your gaze falls on another set of swinging doors across the ward, barely hanging on their hinges. You ought to try that way. The baton must still be somewhere in this place. Perhaps on an upper floor. Whoever took it from me would want to keep it as far as possible from returning to my rightful hands, after all. This place is rife with corruption, and the humans plagued by it. It would be smart to leave, but your body resists the idea of moving on without giving it a proper look. Him exerting pressure to leave immediately doesn't make you feel any better about it either. And why has he been so dodgy about your discoveries? Placing doubt in your puppeteer's word. Is that something you, one of his loyal poppets, should be doing? You still feel Octavio's nagging presence in the back of your consciousness as you try to find what is left of your withered resolve. Despite his insistence on leaving, or perhaps in spite of it, you look across the ward for any clues to where the baton could be. Ooh, we're disobeying. Ooh. Try this. You proceed cautiously across the ward, careful to avoid stepping on any of the twitching puddles of corruption underfoot. The curtain before you remains largely intact and undamaged, drawn shut and concealing the patient within. It seems unlikely that any of the patients would have the baton, but you feel the need to be sure. You grab onto the frayed bottom hem of the curtain, the material coarse and stiff. You're too small to push it aside, and even if you could, the sound of the rusted metal track above would risk disturbing the patient. Going under is your best option, though as you duck underneath, you realize the curtain blocks more of the lighting than you thought. Eh? It's nearly impossible to see who or what is on the mattress, but you can hear their faint, raspy breathing in the dark. The bed creaks as the patient stirs. They wheeze and cough, seemingly strained by the exertion of the motion. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. It's as if the corruption has even infected their voice. Gasps laced with static as their body contorts in some feverish nightmare. You recoil, stumbling back through the curtain and falling to the ground. What? Poppet, what is it? What did you see? Octavio's concerned voice bleeds into your mind. Are you alright? Even his normally calming presence isn't enough to fully dissuade your fear. You push yourself to your feet slowly, conscious of the noise the curtains made when you fell through. Octavio goes silent. So do you, listening intently for any sign of movement from the patient. You wait, tension in your body pulled taut, primed to run. But there's nothing, just the faint crackling of the patient's breathing. Your fear lingers regardless. You're okay. He sounds like he's trying to convince you of your safety, just as much as he's trying to convince himself. Haunted, you turn from the curtains, though you can't help but cast a nervous glance back at them. And again a few paces away, just to be sure. You're no closer to finding the baton. You return to the center of the ward, pausing just long enough to collect yourself. There's no true reprieve from the situation, but it's something. Are you satisfied now? Octavio sounds more annoyed than before. The baton isn't here. As I told you. Stubbornly scan the room despite his annoyance. One of the puddles of corruption flickers violently in your peripheral vision. You shouldn't linger, Poppet. Especially not in a place like this. There's too much records corruption. He sighs. You feel it more than you hear it. A plucked cord of weariness. Can't very well guarantee your safety from here, can I? His pointed words are a reminder, not a threat. You shiver, knowing you ought to finish looking around quickly or move on. The humming fluorescence and hologram monitor displays aren't the only source of light in the ward. Moonlight, cast through a window at the far side of the room, is comforting in comparison to the sterile and flickering lights overhead. It would be too lucky for the baton to be conveniently waiting for you outside the window, but you move closer to investigate regardless. For a moment of respite, if nothing else. There's a set of drawers underneath, their handles making a suitable crude ladder. Convenient and an easy climb for you. As you stand at the windowsill, the sight beyond does not give you the comfort you hoped for. The window itself has been kept surprisingly clean, even avoiding the sprays of corrupted gunk that the rest of the ward is covered in. But like the rest of the ward, there's damage, just as worn down as the rest of the building. An entire pane is shattered, covered with a torn piece of cardboard that has been nailed directly into the frame. The moonlight halos the jagged edges, feel fresh air seeping through the gap, clumsy seal doing little to keep the night breeze out. The remaining glass is relatively intact, save for hairline fractures that cover the surface like cobwebs. You sweep one arm across the condensation fogging the view, then lean closer, pressing your mask up against the glass. The moon is high in the cloudless sky, dimly illuminating the outside world. All you see in the dark are other buildings, like this one. All of them are falling apart, crumbling in disrepair. You don't see any lights in those distant broken windows either, leaving you to wonder if they're abandoned. How desperate must the patients here be to turn to a facility in this condition for their care? You step back, eyeing the cardboard for a moment too long, lost in thought. Octavio's voice chimes in as if on cue, soft and clearly teasing. Oh, planning to leave without me, are you? You can't imagine abandoning him, of course. The thought would never cross your mind. Would it? You don't let the thought linger in your mind, shaking your head. Bad end. You step aside, hands tracing through the slick condensation once more. This time, you wipe with more precision, leaving 2 uneven circles. Then beneath them, you swipe your arm wide like a paintbrush, leaving a curved arc against the foggy glass. A crude rendering of your maestro's smile. Even if you can't see this, you stare at it intently, hoping the sentiment will come across in your mind if nothing else. The silence hangs for a moment. You're rewarded with a laugh. Quiet, but a laugh still. Rare in these circumstances. Your flattery won't work on me, traitor. His voice still borders on playfulness, even after he clears his throat and the mirth drains away. No more playing around. The baton isn't going to find itself. You nod to yourself, turning away from the window and bounding down the drawer handles without difficulty. You land with a soft thud on the cracked tiles below, already missing the slight chill of the night air. Back to work. You know, sooner or later someone is bound to come back here. Octavio's lecturing tone rings out clearly. Not angry, just disappointed. And that's worse. It's familiar. The tone he takes when you've become a little too creative with his meticulously planned stage directions. Of course, the nurses outside are the least of your worries, aren't they? The real danger here is the corruption. Any of those patients could wake up at the drop of a pin. He pauses for a moment before his voice sinks into theatrical sadness. Mourning, almost. What would a poor, lonesome poppet hope to do if one of them woke up and spotted you? The words dredge up a sickly fear, making you cast a wary glance aside to one of the nearby sleeping masses. Octavio continues, sounding utterly crestfallen, but under all the dramatics lurks tangible worry and frustration in equal parts. Torn to pieces, shredded into useless fabric and string. Oh, what a tragedy! If only you had some magnanimous puppeteer, trying to give you advice, begging you to listen. Maybe then you might just be able to avoid such a gruesome fate. Each and every word in your mind feels like a sharp knock to your skull, a rhythmic staccato. Oh, wait. You have me. I'll spell it out for you again, dear Poppet, and you'll do well to listen this time. No more snooping around. No more playing detective. We don't have time to waste like this. You need to keep moving. The intensity of his voice makes your strings burn as if they're being pulled too tight. The baton isn't here. You're putting yourself into unnecessary danger for nothing. I can't save you if something goes wrong in there, Poppet. You need to listen to me. His voice has a simmering emotion that threatens to boil over. There's urgency, yes, but something more than that. Fear. But you've never known Octavio to be afraid. Is it fear on your behalf? Or for himself and his fate without his baton? Unless you have a very, very good reason, you should take my advice. Get out before something happens that I can't protect you from. You chitter in a weak apology, apprehensive as you glance over the room again, wondering if it's even worth risking another look. I don't want him to be this pissed at me. Freedom from this ward remains an ever-tempting option for you. You're not sure where this second set of doors leads, but you can't very well double back through to the nurse's station now. It's effectively the only option out of here if you don't want to be caught. You hear an encouraging hum from Octavio as he realizes you're considering leaving. Good. Go on before someone comes back to check on the patients. He still sounds impatient. There's some part of you that wants to stay and continue searching, as dangerous as that might be. Leave this area. I'm probably missing something important there. I need to know. I need to know! I'm sorry, Octavio! Octavio sounds frustrated when you turn away from the doors again, clicking his tongue in annoyance. What has gotten into you lately? His presence is quieter in your mind than usual. That thought more his own, not exactly intended for you to hear. You feel a small pang of guilt. It would be easy to give in to his pressure and turn back to the door now. But you resolve to stay, at least for a little longer. Have you ignored your maestro? Listen! Listen. Oshi in-law. I can ignore the in-laws. It's fine. Of all the places in the ward, the supply cabinet seemed the most logical place for the baton to actually be, as fragile as that logic is. Yeah, maestro-in-law, exactly. That already tenuous thought only gets weaker when Octavio remains silent as you approach. Surely he'd be able to sense the baton if it was this close, even through the record's corruption? But that doesn't mean it isn't worth looking on the off chance there's something useful tucked away on the shelves. After all, you know firsthand from Octavio's own workshop that there's always something that winds up where it doesn't belong. You look up, taking a moment to plot your course up the cabinet shelves. Despite the less than perfect condition of the ward itself, the cabinet is undamaged and clean, and the supplies well organized. What little supplies there are, at least. It isn't surprising, your mind flickering back to the poor condition of the uniforms that the medical staff wear. It seems what little funding there is has been almost exclusively diverted to patient care and not much else. Fewer supplies means less for you to go through, at least. You leap to the lowest shelf to begin your search. You try to strike a balance between being quick and thorough as you lift boxes of gauze and check between rolls of surgical tape. You don't allow yourself to be distracted, even as you're pushing aside strange bottles of antiseptic to peek into the back of the storage space. Though you can't help but wonder what formula would even affect a corrupted wound, or if they could even work for that at all. True to your expectations, there's nothing here aside from the standard medical supplies and paperwork that you'd expect. That is, until you check the last cubby. Eh? You pull out the drawer there, revealing rows and rows of papers, filed away neatly. Oh shit! Okay, I'm glad I checked. Holy fuck. Among papers stuck in filing cabinets, you come across a stapled sheaf of paper with notes on it. Some of the contents are evidently typed, while others are written in a tight, messy scrawl that you have to repeatedly read. You realize that you've seen a similar writing style on the puppet show poster you found just outside the morgue. Upon closer inspection, you catch a glimpse of not only one, but many photos depicting a familiar shock of silvery blue hair. You hurriedly move some of the pages aside and see your maestro in every single picture. As if it's not surprising enough to see Octavio being obsessively captured from every angle, you also notice several notes about him written in that same scratchy hand. Other than basic details, his name and a brief physical description, what jumps out to you is a number of scrawled observations. After conducting a personal investigation, the only information I can confirm is that he is a part of one of the Badlands' many mercenary units, a bounty hunter. I recall from some chatter among the residents that they are called Armis. However, it would seem that mercenary work accounts for only half of Octavio's career. Every single corner of the Badlands has been covered by flyers for his puppet show. Even in Shultiren, children have been singing its popular jingle. The lyrics of the jingle, performance, every inch of it is worth investigating. What personally piques my interest is the secret behind his seemingly arcane abilities, his baton and strings. At least, that's what the other bounty hunters, whom I went to great pains to contact, have all consistently claimed. Of these, the most extreme claim by far is that the baton can control every single corruption beast. I find this intriguing, given the ever-increasing number of corruption beasts in the Badlands within recent years. Before flipping to the other page, you find a sticky note. What are poppets? Octavio's puppets, usually found in Octavio's puppet show. Some hunters swear to have witnessed Octavio using them in combat. Rumors persist that these familiars may in fact be tainted by Record's corruption themselves. You flip several pages, trying to glean all the information you can from these strange case notes. Finally, on the end page, you find another scribbled entry. Author's notes. When dealing with terminal patients, as is the case with all corruption victims, one cannot help but wonder at what point we draw the line between extending a patient's life and needlessly prolonging their suffering. I have learned through years of experience that past stage 4 progression, there is little we doctors can do, but assuming my findings are proven true, and assuming this Octavio knows something of corruption himself, I just cannot fathom how he can be complicit in prolonging the pain of these corruption beasts, and for his own gain at that. No illness should be a tool, and nor should its victims. Oh, shit! The more I uncover, the more perturbed I become. You clutch the papers in your hands tightly. The page is flipped back to the front page. You're faced with the photos of Octavio once more. You would never put much thought into how little you knew about him, or how little you challenged him in his intentions, and how little he chose to share of himself with you. His voice cuts in before your thoughts can continue. You know exactly as much as you need to know about me, Poppet. No more, no less. Though, as his presence pulls you back from your mind slightly, you hear him laugh. It's dry and humorless. He doesn't find any of what he gleaned secondhand from your mind to be funny. On the basis of rumors, assumption, and little else, written by nosy people with no business getting involved. Sounds bitter, but not in the least bit surprised. Surely you don't believe any of that, do you? There's a moment of hesitation in your thoughts, doubt, and not in the contents of the case notes. In Octavio. You know he can sense your shift in conviction, his presence going cold, a sharp chill clawing up your back. Even if you can't see his eyes harden, you feel them, piercing the seams of your stitching like icicles. There's no frustration or anger seeping into the silence. You aren't sure what he's feeling. He sighs, resigned. You have to trust me. The sensation in your mind softens, as does his voice. Beyond anything else, he sounds tired, if not strained. It's for the best. You slide the sheaf of papers back into where they had been filed away before descending the cabinet again. Hard not to let your thoughts wander back to the contents of the notes again, but you do what you can to rein them in. You have to pretend to forget what you saw. You don't have the luxury of time or the privacy in your mind to make sense of those feelings now. Ooh. Ooh. You freeze at the sound of shuffling fabric behind you. It's soft at first, and under any other circumstance you would have ignored it. Instead, it draws your attention in an instant, but you barely have time to react before a louder sound grabs your attention. An erratic beeping starts at one of the monitors, the holographic display changing, though you can't make sense of the flickering symbols. Then the rustling fabric, the noise coming from a bed uncomfortably close to you, grows louder. You whip your head around in time to see the patient writhing, twisted limbs outstretched. The trembling quickly escalates to violent thrashing, accented by its coarse and deep coughs, spitting up ink like gunk with each retch. You hear a rush of footsteps against tile outside. No doubt the staff are responding to the monitor's alarm. You're about to rush to escape when a new sound rips through the air. Screaming. Oh. Oh. Not a human scream. It rips out of their lungs, filling the ward with a distorted, agonizing screech. A deep and primal fear sets in. You don't move. You can't. Your mind is screaming at you to run, but your body keeps refusing. The footsteps are barely audible under the wailing, but you're sure they'll be here at any moment. They'll catch you, or the patient will corrupt, and then... Poppet, what are you doing? Octavio's voice pulls you from the flow of your thoughts, snapping you free from the frozen panic. Move! Without further thought, you run, the thunderclap screaming only getting louder. You sprint for the exit, praying there's no one coming into the ward from this side. But just as your hands outstretched to push through the doors, you stop, a strange feeling overwhelming you. The panic in your chest is accompanied now by a deep ache that rattles the bars of your jailed heart's prison. It hurts like a bad memory. Against your better judgment, something tells you to look back. Renewed fear sparks as you do, watching the patient writhe in a desperate struggle against the corruption. You swear that for a split second you can see prismatic glitching between the patient's outstretched, clawed fingers. The patient's screeches echo behind you as you turn back, pushing one of the swinging doors open just wide enough for you to slip through between the gap. You dart through, not daring to look back again. You're not quite sure if it's your jailed heart you're feeling, or something else, but one thing's certain, your chest won't stop squeezing itself anytime soon. You rashly scuttle along the endless hallway. On the bright side, you can hear your own footsteps. This will increase your odds of escape, surely. Then again, it's only because your footsteps are drowned out by a handful of other noises. The hospital staff running about, the agonized howls of that patient. Poppet, hurry! You stagger, panting. The rest of the hallway is enshrouded in shadows. Despite the path being straight, you find it hard to tell what's left or right. I can sense it. The baton is nearby. Don't lose focus now. His tone is cold yet firm. You continue to run. If you remember correctly, the end of this hallway is... Catch sight of an imposing staircase going up. Towers in comparison to your tiny body. Good job, Poppet. You cheer and breathe a sigh of relief, but something occurs to you as you raise your head to the view upstairs. Eh? You hear footsteps behind you. Some hospital staff nearby? What are you dawdling for, Poppet? I'm waiting. We're close. Hurry up and find the baton, now. You scramble up the enormous stairs, resisting the urge to look back upon every step. Something about the faded texture of the floor, the bleak atmosphere of the hospital, feels familiar to you somehow. Your mind is racing. Dr. Aria Salvador. Have you heard of her before? On the other hand, Octavio. What exactly do you know about him? A door, partially ajar, comes into view. One more step. Just one final leap. Ugh. You stagger, falling down a couple steps. Puppet, what are you doing? Octavio? Who is he? He's your puppeteer. He delicately grasped you earlier when you were scared. He reassured you that he would be fine. Why is he shouting at you? Poppet, the baton, please. Hurry so we can go home. These ropes are starting to itch. No, the puppet's crying. A pitiful sniffle slips out of you. Puppet? What's wrong? Footsteps from earlier remain faint, but they're not far. This is no time to be idling around, you think. Puppet. You take a few stilted steps. Oh god. The camera work is real good, but oh my god. Wait. I do need my baton back, but I also need you safe. So take a moment. Just a second. Oh no! The itty bitty poppet! You try to move forward, yet your body refuses to budge, and you give in. Collapse to the step, leaning your back on the step above you like you would back home. I'm sorry, Poppet. I'm sorry if things aren't making sense right now. You sit in silence. You expect Octavio to keep talking, to explain himself further, but he doesn't. He allows you to gather your thoughts. He allows you to breathe. They're 1 apple tall. They're so itty. No, they're so baby. You made the baby cry, Octavio. Look what you've done. You're so itty bitty. Pet the baby. You're doing great, Poppet. A fucking sopping wet cat. After a few moments, you effortlessly hop up the steps and duck towards the door. Oh. Shit. Whatever questions you have, what lies beyond might have the answers. Take the stride to peek at what's inside. Ooh, the music! Ooh! What greets you is a semblance of an office. It's dark. Other than the faint glow of a desk lamp, the only light source in the room is the moonlight, streaming through a large, broken window pane. Visible outside is the full moon, which, at this moment, feels larger than it usually is. Hardbound books, crammed with bookmarks, also tower everywhere you can lay your eyes on. Some are half opened on the floor, revealing the worn and scribbled pages inside. But the highlight of the room is its lone occupant. Her figure is silhouetted by the moonlight, her auburn hair contrasting eloquently with the night sky. Stooped in posture, she paces around back and forth. Her steps are soft, yet deliberate. What's on her mind is evidently more important than your figure peeking behind the door, as she is still yet to glance in your direction. Have you seen her before? The image of the ID earlier flashes in your mind. That's Dr. Aria Salvador. She's grasping something in her hands, which is wrapped inside a handkerchief. It's as if she's refusing to let any part of it make contact with her skin. This music fucks. This music fucks real hard. Holy shit. Is that a pen? As her figure passes by the full moon again, you manage to catch a good glimpse of it. It's the baton. The baton, the tool Octavio so effortlessly commands on stage and in battle during quiet afternoons in his puppet workshop. Just seeing it again fills you with a sense of sudden relief, a glimmer of hope for dawn at the end of this long night. You just have to get it back and you can go home. You both can. And the simple thought makes you smile, wistfully. Why is it then, you wonder, that Dr. Salvador is currently making the same expression as you? Yeah, no, this CG... Oh, the framing of it is incredible. Because, like, it makes me think of, like, this... It makes me think of Octavio's stage. Like, the set design with the, like, red curtains on the side. And the, like, quote-unquote full moon. Right here. Yeah. It makes me think of that. And it's like, they both have the baton, but, like... Hee. One's using it. Her steps halt. Did she notice you? You conceal yourself quickly behind the door, expecting her to appear beside you at any moment. But several long, tense seconds pass, and nothing happens. You peer inside the room again, only to find the doctor standing still by the window. You've never seen anyone gaze at the moon with the look of such bitterness before. Oh, hello. Hello. Tucks hair behind ear. Full moon again. Another one you're missing. She chuckles to herself, the sound cold, hollow. Though, I suppose you did always prefer the sunrise. The baton, still wrapped in the handkerchief, is now dangling in her hand, outside of her view. Her grip on it is light, as if a soft breeze could knock it through her fingers. From her fingers. A thought crosses your mind. You could snatch the baton and dash out of here. Should you do it? You gulp, steeling yourself. 3, 2. Just as you're about to move, Dr. Salvador seems to remember the baton. She lifts her right hand, bringing it closer for a better look. Well, there goes your plan. Hot lady doctor, yeah, I'm just like, ooh, tucks hair behind ear. You take note of something, though. Her wistful face begins to twist. So many lives have been lost. She then glares at the baton with pure contempt. But no more. Oh, she's pissed. Oh, fuck. Is sprites? Tucks hair behind ear. Ma'am. It feels like she might snap it if she exerts any more force. Now that I have this. She's still pacing, still muttering, still clutching the baton with that frayed handkerchief as if it's a venomous thing, until all at once, she stops. A breath catches in her throat. Her shoulders twitch. Oh. Then she laughs. It bursts out of her in a harsh bark, raw and stilted, like it's been trapped behind her teeth for years. You've heard it before. Downstairs, from the nurse's station. That laugh. It crackles like glass under pressure. Oh. Yes, go apeshit, go crazy, go stupid, go feral. Like something trying to mimic joy and failing, splintered at the edges, half laughter, half sob. You freeze as the doctor's laugh collapses into sharp, breathless gasp. She flings the baton away from herself as if it had bitten her, tosses it carelessly, violently, and it lands atop a stack of half-organized patient files. Then both her hands dart to her chest, clutching the locket at her throat so tightly the chain draws taut. She turns on her heel, stiff and sudden, back to the window where the moonlight bleeds silver over her shoulders. Her lips move in frantic hushes. Sorry, I'll make it right. I swear I'll make it right. Even pressed into the corner shadows, your small body coiled tight as a spring, something about her posture makes your chest ache. Fear, yes, but beneath it, faint recognition. The way she holds herself like something broken, trying to remember how to stand. There, do you see it? You twitch at the voice echoing across your thoughts, softer than usual, coiled tight with expectation. Reluctantly, your gaze drags from the doctor to the desk. The baton gleams dully across atop the scattered papers, half lit, half shadowed by the moonlight that cuts across the room. Take it, now, before she... You hesitate, small fingers curling against the floorboards. On stage, it had been theater, choreographed falls, rehearsed catches, applause at the curtain call. Here, there are no safety nets, no second chances. Just you, the baton, and a woman who once mended bones, now whispering prayers to shadows that do not answer. You watch her shoulders tremble, your own hands shake in response. Is Octavio afraid for you? Don't start questioning me now, Poppet. There's no time for doubt. I wouldn't ask this of you if I had any other choice. Please, go. His words crack like a whip across your skull, sharp enough to draw blood from the thought itself. Your body moves before your mind can protest, launching from the shadows on pure instinct. Moonlight sears your path, each step painted in stark, unforgiving relief. You are halfway to your prize when a hand snares you mid-flight, cold and certain, closing around your small frame with surgical precision. You writhe, kick, emit a strangled squeak of alarm, but it's futile as fighting the tide. She lifts you, turns you, sets you down with deliberate, careful grace. The desk is hard and cold beneath you. And across from you, no longer trembling, no longer whispering apologies to the night, stands Dr. Salvador. Tucks hair behind my ear. Oh, let me quick save. I fucking forgot that was a thing. Smiles. Stands Dr. Salvador. The locket hangs loose in one hand like a pendulum at rest. The other rests beside the baton, fingers spread like a spider's leg, ready to strike. She simply watches you with the patience of someone who has spent years cutting truth from lies, who has peeled back skin to find the corruption beneath. Oh, the music. Oh my god! That's so fucking cool. As if she knows exactly what you are. As if she has been expecting you all along, counting the minutes until you would finally crawl from whatever dark place spawned you to darken her doorstep. As if this moment, this confrontation, is as inevitable as gravity, like the coin that spins between heads and tails, knowing it cannot go on spinning forever. And now, it's about to fall. Oh, end of Act 2! Dr. Salvador peers down at you, her face thrown into shadow by the cold moonlight pouring in through the window behind her. She might be grinning, or glaring, or grimacing, or all three at once. The sound of that sudden, terrible peal of laughter won't leave your mind. You tremble in place, paralyzed in fear where you stand. You could run. You should run, but I've never seen one of his familiars up close before. You force back a squeak of panic as suddenly the doctor moves, stooping to be at eye level in front of you. That's what you are, right? One of Octavio's living puppets. A poppet. She cocks her head thoughtfully. How did you get here exactly? We're a very long way from Schulteiren out here, little one. Can't imagine you walked. This close, the faint glow of her desk lamp softens Dr. Salvador's features, robbing the severity from the angles, thawing the chill left by the moonlight. That's a good-ass descriptor. I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, I need a good one. Good-ass description. Anyway. Calm curiosity suffuses her tone and manner, entirely at odds with the way she snatched you up, with the outburst you witnessed, with that laugh. You would almost believe you imagined it, if not for the baton lying atop the desk, just to your left, where you watched her cast it aside as if it were venomous. That's right, Poppet. The baton! It's right there, isn't it? At your very fingertips. You're so close. Just get it back for me. Get it back, and I'll handle the rest. Promise. I can just imagine the Poppet is like the pleading emoji. It's big wet eyes. Octavio's voice fills your consciousness, smooth and familiar, and at any other time, convincing. You want to believe your maestro, but he isn't here, and Dr. Salvatore very much is, murmuring to herself as she looks you over. She may not have harmed you yet, but she has already caught you once. Can you really snatch the baton from right under her nose and get away with it? Or you wonder if it might be wiser to wait. She just glances away, gives you even a moment unobserved. Quick save again. Grab the baton now and run. You quiver, glancing wildly between Dr. Salvador and the baton. Something sings in the back of your mind, whisper soft and wordless, wanting for its host. Octavio is still waiting for you, counting on you. Once you get the baton back to him, you can go home. And that's all the convincing you need. Whoa. A gasp of shock leaves Dr. Salvador's lips as you lunge for the baton, your tiny arms wrapping around it and clutching it tightly to your body. Fleetingly, you register that it's warm to the touch, unnaturally so, and then you're tumbling off the edge of the desk, just out of Dr. Salvador's reach. Yes, Poppet! Just don't look back now. This time, you don't question him. The baton throbs in your grasp, a hummingbird heartbeat that your own rises to match as you hit the ground and scramble for the door. Movement behind you, frantic, clumsy. The chair scrapes as it's pushed out of the way, and the doctor's voice. No! You don't know what you're doing! You can't! You bolt out of Dr. Salvador's office and into the hallways, the baton in your possession. You look back just a split second at a silhouette resembling Dr. Salvador. Oh shit, she's on the move. Get back here! Suddenly, you lose your footing as you trip down the steps, yet you hold on to the baton for dear life. Poppet, do not damage the baton at any cost. I need it in one piece, and of course, I also need you in one piece. You scramble to get back on your feet as the thunderous sounds of skipping steps echo through the hallway. You know you can't outrun her. However, you could attempt to evade her. Rapidly approach the bottom of the stairs, your head frantically looking left and right. There are only two choices, Poppet. You do not have much time. Exit. Your eyes immediately zero in on the big letters that read exit. From your memory, according to the maestro, exit means outside. You've easily sneaked your way past the doctors and nurses all night, so you might as well take that risk and slip under the cracks. That is, if she doesn't think you're headed in that direction. You can just lose her outside, then you can slip back in to free Octavio once your trail turns cold. You take the chance, sprinting towards the exit. However, unlike the other doors you managed to slip through tonight, it appears there are no gaps. Damn it! Try opening the door! You drop the baton by your side and try to open the door with all of your poppet strength, but it stubbornly refuses to budge. You keep tugging and tugging, hoping for an inch of movement, but it gets you nowhere. I know you're somewhere over here, little poppet. Her cloying whispers send chills up your limbs, causing you to panic even more. Quit messing with the door and hide somewhere else! The voice in your head makes you turn even more desperate to get out of the room. Unfortunately for you, a shadow looms over you. As you turn your head ever so slightly, the eerie face of the doctor engraves itself in your head. I found you. Before you can make another move, a glass dome descends upon you from above, trapping you inside and separating you from the baton. You start banging on the glass in hopes to break free. But it's too late. You did not return the baton. You hesitated. You are a failure. No! Jailed. The poor baby is jailed. What happens if I click no? Oh. Okay. What? Fair enough. Well. Alright, well, let's click through real fast. Grab the baton now and run. Still waiting, counting on you. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Just don't look back. Blah, blah, blah. You don't know what you're doing. Bolt out of the hallway. There she is. She's on the move. Trip down. Don't damage the baton. Need me in one piece. Left and right. Only 2 choices. You don't have much time. Duck into the corrupted patient ward. A familiar, lit room draws your attention as you are running for your poppet life. The patient ward. You remember earlier how a few of the doctors and nurses were trying to soothe one of the corrupted patients. So much pain. Stop thinking! He's right. You stop thinking and duck your way underneath the crack. Upon entering, you notice a few things are different. 1. The lights are on, which means navigating through the room will be easier, but it will be hard to hide. 2. The same doctors and nurses from earlier are frantically moving throughout the ward while monitor alarms blare and patients groan. No time to catch your breath. You need to get out of here. Move. Nodding your head, you start shifting your way through the ward. Yet, you cannot help but stop and watch in transfixed horror as one of the patients hacks a disturbing cough. Ooh, the screen glitch. Black ichor oozes out of the patient's mouth with each successive cough. You, get a bucket, stat! And you, go get one of the medical trolleys. Just calm down. One of the nurses will get your medication, and you're going to be okay. Focus. You snap out of your daze and continue on forth. You duck underneath the beds and trolleys, yet the groans from the patients still agonize you. But there's no other option than to move forward. As you make your way through the room, you hear the doors swing open and familiar heels clicking. You, have you seen a tiny poppet? A what? A puppet! It's escaping with something of value. We need to capture it at once and retrieve what belongs to me. None of the doctors nor nurses seem interested with her demand as they continue to tend to the agitated patients. Dr. Salvador lets out a heavy sigh and tries to walk past one of the doctors. Get out of my way! Stop whatever you're doing and find it now! But, doctor, no one knows stage 4 like you do. Just pull yourself together already. But, ma'am, the patient... I said get out of my way! The command in her voice chills you to your core as you start to pick up the pace. Finally, you escape out of the ward, hoping that the commotion behind you will slow her down. You find yourself back at the nurse's station. Now entirely empty, the lights dim. You recall that all of the doctors and nurses are assisting in the ward and probably in other parts of the hospital. You're halfway there, Poppet. Staff seem to have her distracted for now, so best take advantage. He's right. You know that you're not far from the hallway leading you to the basement, but you don't want to risk getting caught by the hospital staff. Time is ticking. Sprint to the hallway. You stare past the nurse's station at the hallway stretching endlessly before you. Suddenly so much longer than earlier. Maybe you could hide. Ugh! Enough! I'll go looking for it myself. You hear the muffled shouts of Dr. Salvador drawing closer towards the exit of the ward. On instinct, you start booking it as fast as you can. From a distance, you hear the sound of a door slamming and you pick up the pace, the beating of your heart intensifying. Every step your aching legs make across the tiled floor, the sharp clicks follow. Every second, another reminder that your life, potentially Octavio's, is on the line. You finally make it out of the hallway as the doctor's footsteps draw ever closer. Due to your small stature, she has easily been able to make up the distance despite her delay with the staff in the ward. You grind to a halt as you reach the edge of the stairs going down into the basement. Poppet, that's it. Come on. I can feel you're so close. The doctor is approaching you, and she's making up time. You look behind you, and then back at the staircase. Octavio is right. You're so close. You just have to... Take a leap of faith. The longer you stare at the bottom of the stairs, you start to remember your moment. Your special moment. The audience's oohs and ahs, the roaring applause just for you. And then, Octavio, catching you on the palm of his warm, gloved hand with a smile on his face. He caught you. He saved you. Octavio is waiting for you at the bottom, waiting to catch you again, believing in you, even for all you feel he's been keeping something from you. You want to go home. You want answers. You want to see your maestro again. You can't do any of that unless you jump. Heart racing. You take a step back, tighten your grip around the baton, and you leap. Everything feels like slow motion. For a fragment of a second, you're weightless, suspended in midair just out of the reach of Dr. Salvador's grasping fingers, before gravity drags you towards the steps. You fall fast and hard, the impact rattling your mask as you tumble down, down, down to the last step and finally the bottom of the staircase. The fabric of your body, the stitches holding you together, slide on the tile as the momentum of your fall carries you skidding towards the double doors, through the crack, and back into the morgue. You look around and spot Octavio still bound to the chair, unharmed if a little disheveled, exactly the way you left him, and your nerves rally in sheer relief. You chitter, and his head snaps up, sharp, sudden. In the dim light, his eyes gleam like those of something nocturnal. Poppet, a job well done. Now then, give back my baton and we can go home. A chill runs a ladder stitch down your spine at his tone. You want to go home, you do, and yet, still hesitating, and suddenly you hear a loud slam right behind you. Wait! You turn your head to see a desperate Dr. Salvador behind you, her hand pressed firmly, something. Do not give that— oh wait, I can do— press firmly against the door. Do not give that man the baton. This hospital matters more than his sick, twisted puppet show ever could. I've given this place everything I could. So much of it, my time. No, my life. My soul. She lets go and points at Octavio, her teeth gritting. You give the baton back to him, and this entire place crumbles down. You want to help, then help me. Your ears slightly twitch at her words as you watch her extend her hand to you. Clutch the baton tighter. Help me, and we can save every corrupted patient in this facility. Oh, won't you shut up? You don't know a damn thing. The power in that baton, the repercussions of toying with it. You have no idea how much worse this place could get. Poppet, do not listen to her. Just hand over the baton and we can go home. Oh! Home. You missed the other poppets, and you made him proud by following his orders. Everything could go back to normal just like that. However, you cannot help but feel the aching pain and cries from Dr. Salvador, her desperation dredging up the doubts about Octavio you've been trying so hard to ignore. Oh, this is fucked. You look so borderline feral. Your head throbs, trying to wrap your thoughts around everything at this very moment. Think, Poppet. Think. Give to Octavio. You glance at the baton in your hands, gripped tight as your jailed heart thunders in your chest from the wild chase you just endured. What you need to do next should be obvious, yet looking back and forth between your maestro and the desperate doctor, you hesitate. Poppet, please. Poppet, you know what you have to do. You turn your gaze upwards to your puppeteer. He has a serious look on his face, regarding you fully with careful control and expectation. His eyes are clear of doubts and hesitation, as if fully trusting you to make the right decision. You wonder to yourself if you truly know what is right. Your journey through the hospital, although fraught with danger, opened up a whole new world for you. A world outside of the theater. A world you feel a connection with. A world you want to know. But now, you see your puppeteer who gave you your heart and life, jailed and restricted though they may be. Your puppeteer who showed you off on the stage and trusted in your abilities. Your puppeteer who caught you when you fell. Octavio, who is your entire world. Discarding all hesitation, you sprint towards your maestro, baton raised high and ready to be passed into his bound hands. Poppet! You hear the thundering of frantic footsteps behind you, but you're faster as you skitter underneath the chair to reach Octavio's back and place the baton on his open palm. No sooner than you do does he close his hand around the artifact, harnessing its familiar power. You watch, enthralled, as bright silvery blue strings manifest around him, tearing the ropes around his person and setting him free. Ugh. You watch your maestro stand up and stretch, lifting his arms high, almost flaunting the baton in his grasp. The doctor seems rooted where she stands, a grimace painted heavily on her face. Octavio coolly ignores her in favor of bending down to carefully pick up his discarded coat. With an elegant flick, he throws it into the air, the strings neatly setting it around his shoulders. You look at him like you did the first time you opened your eyes as his poppet, full of awe and wonder at his regal and refined stature. He swiftly turns on his heels, his coat billowing with the movement. You are faced with his wide back, his silhouette intimidating and dark. You did such an excellent job, Poppet. Well done. Your jailed heart sings at the praise, even more so when he looks back at you with a smile, gentle and kind. It's at odds with his rigid stance and the powerful aura he emits, as reassuring as it is chilling. Now, what to do with you? Octavio looks at Dr. Salvador with glee, the curve of his lips blade sharp and wholly unlike the smile he gave you. You'll be handed justice one day, you monster! With her frantic declaration, Dr. Salvador hurriedly turns to escape, yet Octavio is quicker, nimble fingers orchestrating his strings at the first sign of movement. Oh my goodness! 2 raids at once! Hello, the ads! I'm so sorry! Oops! Hello, Kiki and Bubby! Thank you for the raids and welcome in, raiders! Hello! Let me do it real quick. There we go. Thank you for the raids. Hey, hi, hello, how are you? My name is Callie, resident exhausted Salaryman. This is here to play games. I'm itty bitty in the corner because I was trying to not block the beautiful Octavio sprites. Welcome in. We are nearing the end, I think, one of the ends, I think, of Memento Solis. And I am so locked in. I'm so locked in. But yeah, welcome in. With her frantic declaration, Dr. Salvador hurriedly turns to escape. Yet Octavio is quicker, nimble fingers orchestrating his strings at the first sign of movement. Excuse me. You don't get to run away from me. Strings fly from around Octavio's shoulders, quick and efficient as they wrap around the doctor, binding her in place. Gah! Tentatively, move away from your hiding spot behind one of the legs of the chair, watching your maestro stalk towards the now bound doctor. You're out of ad jail. Sorry. Welcome in. Ooh, game. Octavio moves slowly, deliberately, the click of his heels echoing loudly throughout the morgue, a grim metronome to the doctor's distressed breaths. You can barely see what's happening, Maestro's coat wide enough to conceal the struggling doctor. Still, you try your best to listen, jailed heart thundering. You don't know why you're scared, but you know you're not scared for yourself. Yeah, the music has been so chef's kiss beautiful the entire time. All the like CGs, the sprites, the fucking the lights. Okay, the way this game is put together. Damn, shit. Fuck you mean this is fan made? It's really fucking cool. It's very cool. Now then, I guess it's time to talk. Ugh. You scuttle forward, worries dampening now that your pursuer has been subdued. But she's being difficult. She struggles against her restraints, hurling insults at Octavio. You will never understand corruption like I do. I will stop you from prolonging the suffering of others. Your poaching of lives lost to disease ends here. Ends where, exactly? If you didn't realize, you're in quite a tangled situation right now. The confident cadence of Octavio's voice seems to chill the entire room. Instinctively, you wrap your arms around yourself. And I said we were going to talk, weren't we? But it seems like you don't want to. No. There's nothing to talk about. You've already made yourself clear. How so? I don't think I ever had to explain myself to anyone before. Everything you've taken from me, I won't let you take any more. Taken? From you? What exactly did I take from you? Or are you blaming me for something you, yourself, have lost? Octavio leans forward, hands behind his back as if observing a specimen. Tell me, what did you lose, oh good doctor? Play the fool all you want, you snake. Ha! And here I was, trying to be nice, asking for your side of the story. Octavio sighs dramatically, shaking his head in disbelief as he lifts his arms up in a shrug. He waves his baton carelessly, as if dangling a carrot on a stick just out of reach. The doctor eyes him with contempt. Anyway, you should count yourself lucky that my poppet made it back to me all in one piece. Octavio moves to the side, giving you a clear view of the bound doctor for the first time. Sight sends a chill down your spine. Feeling the faintest of tugs at your heartstrings, you look up, hollow eyes meeting those of your maestro. He looks relieved. Now, Poppet, I'm sure you're feeling tired after all the running around you did, You feel the heavy weight of your limbs, your labored, haggard breaths. Yes, you are quite tired. You nod. He smiles. Well then, allow me to finish this so we can go on our merry way home. He takes a deep breath, eyes closed and posture straight. It's how he looks in preparation for a performance. He lifts the baton delicately, a glowing trail of cold blue light following its every move. Stare. This isn't the end, Octavio. I swear on my life, I swear I'll stop you. Then swear it you shall. Keep quiet, all right, Poppet? And oh, hold the applause for when the show is over. Oh. Oh. Oh shit. You wake up cocooned in warm velvet cloth. Immediately, you recognize the pocket of your maestro's coat. Distant sounds of people talking and feet shuffling catch your ears. You wonder just where exactly you are. Looking up, you see a sliver of light peeking from the opening of the coat pocket. You lift yourself out with your arms, head popping out now that you've found your strength back. Oh, you're awake, little Poppet. Octavio's jovial voice greets you. You turn your head towards him, and he regards you with a warm smile before looking back at the road ahead. We're almost home, just a little bit further. The winding desert roads are unfamiliar. You haven't been out of the workshop all that much, and you're just newly made, still adjusting to life as you get to know it with only your puppeteer's guidance to go by. But if he says you're almost home, then you believe him. You watch quietly as dawn breaks on the horizon, slowly illuminating the dusty silhouette of a town. You don't see the familiar tavern or the theater. The doctor must have brought you somewhere out far. A lingering thought interrupts from the back of your mind, something anxious and just a little afraid. The doctor. Sensing this through the strings, Octavio laughs. You have nothing to worry about anymore, little Poppet. I already took care of everything. Of course, you don't doubt that. You don't doubt your maestro at all now, after the events from earlier. Nobody is out to get you, or me. I made sure to keep everything spotless, in fact. That hospital could really use some helping hands. He sounds happy, carefree, just a little smug at his declaration. You tilt your head to the side. And the good doctor made peace with me, as to be expected. His voice drops lower, a little secretive and a little mysterious as he flits his gaze at you with a smile. They've learned their lesson to not look too close. Silence falls between the two of you, yet the early morning hustle and bustle of the town ahead only serves to remind you that, despite everything, you left safely. Just as you're about to nestle back into his pocket, Octavio hums, getting your attention. You were brave out there, Poppet. I know I can rely on you. I made you in my image, after all. Smart, courageous, but most importantly, perfect. This time, when he looks at you, there's an undeniable warmth in his eyes. Even though I felt your fear, your terror, even though you risked your life to get the baton. At this, he brings a hand up, patting the other side of his chest and sighing in relief, presumably feeling the tangible weight of the baton tucked away in his coat. I already checked you before putting you in my pocket, but are you hurt anywhere? Ooh. He laughs lightly at your enthusiastic declaration. You release a soft squeak when he starts rubbing your head fondly for the briefest of moments. Wee. Head pats for the poppet. I'm glad you're not hurt. Octavio sighs as if releasing all of his pent-up worries to the world. He brings his arms up, stretching as you meet the day ahead. You don't remember exactly what I did. That's okay. You were scared and tired. It's understandable that you don't remember. I told you, right? You have nothing to worry about. Absolutely nothing. Oh, cute! You look up at him. He's looking back at you with a slight smile before turning to face the Clementine horizon. The sun is more than halfway up the sky, and the life tree too. You'll let yourself fall back into the pocket, curling in on yourself and closing your eyes, worries abated and heart at peace. Yes, with your puppeteer with you and the baton in his possession, surely there's nothing to worry about anymore. Yippee! Wow! Right? Teehee. Wow. So that's one ending. Smiles. I'm gonna do another. Hee hee. Fuck yeah. Let's find out. Good ending to You look back at the baton in your hands, jailed heart still thundering erratically from the wild chase you just barely managed to escape from. There's a thrumming in your limbs, surge of power from the mysterious artifact impossible to comprehend. You tremble with it. The glow of the baton calls to the strings that bind you to your puppeteer, almost easing your worries, but for a nagging sense of uncertainty at the back of your mind. You did your task and your puppeteer praised you for a job well done. You didn't disappoint him. You made the jump and didn't fall, unlike the first time. Still, you hesitate. A thought, unbidden and strange in its suddenness, alights in your mind. Puppeteer never really told you who you are. Poppet, stop standing around and give it to me. Jerking in slight surprise, you curl into yourself, away from the frantic voice of your maestro. Though not actively being controlled, you still feel the pull of his strings, insistent and agitated. He's been pulling you every which way for as long as you can remember, from the moment of your birth. You wonder if this is really what someone who claims they care for you would do. Poppet. You look over at the haggard doctor, at her distraught expression in her messy clothes. You saw her pacing in her office and muttering madness to herself. Your jailed heart clenches. You remember her anguished cries about lives lost and making things right when she had the baton. You don't know what she means. Don't know if you'll be able to eventually. Your hollow eyes meet her hysterical gaze. What could she possibly want the baton for? Why does she harbor this loathing for your puppeteer? All of you are at a standstill, and you're the only one who can break it. Your tiny hands clench the baton, the pulse of power surging briefly through your body. Bad would it really be if you didn't obey him? Each burst of curiosity, each fleeting thought of wanting to dig more, know more about this place, the people, records corruption. He was in your ear nagging you to move on, to leave. He always wants you to follow his voice and never waver, and you did. You do. But the feelings evoked by the things you saw, things you feel you know or perhaps knew, curiosity that nagged at your mind and still lingers. Yet he always urges you to get going, as if he doesn't like you knowing. Your puppeteer wants you ignorant. Poppet! Poppet, no! What the hell are you doing? Come back here and give me the baton right this instant. The pull of the strings is strong, your limbs locking in place the moment you take one step away from your puppeteer. Still, you rebel. Your body feels like it weighs a ton, pulled back and taut. Your arms especially feel rigid as stone. But 1 foot at a time, you continue to move. Maybe the answers lie with the other person in the room, the one who has something to fight for. Poppet! You ignore the panicked yells from Octavio behind you, your tiny feet finally making it right in front of the doctor. Dr. Salvador doesn't move as she looks down on you. Stark contrast from her desperate chase earlier. You can barely lift your arms, movement still restricted by Octavio's control. But you persevere, wanting nothing more than to show the good doctor your intent. She's bound to be good, right? She's helping all these people in the hospital, after all. Oh, dear Poppet. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She kneels down in front of you, taking the baton from you with trembling hands. You chirp. No! Give it back! There's a ruckus behind you, Octavio struggling in his chair against the ropes binding him tight. Try to ignore him. Poppet, you can still take it back! Come on, take it back! Oh, how I've waited for this moment. You look up at Dr. Salvador, who smiles down at you, teeth glinting in the dim light. She pats you on the head, thanking you one more time. How many endings are there? 3? I think, right? Your heart tingles with something unfamiliar. Somehow, the touch fills you with a sense of unease. 3, sick. Oh yeah, corruption has spread far enough. Dr. Salvador rises to her feet, eyes locked on the glowing baton. You stay stuck in place, looking up at her and fighting the urge to face your puppeteer. Though, whether out of shame or rebellion, you don't know. So many lives lost. So many people continuing to grieve. Elysium has never been the same since the spread of this vile disease. I've dedicated my entire life to studying records corruption, treating the afflicted, letting go of those who can no longer turn back. Yet you who are always at the scene of the crime, controlling corruption beasts like mere tools. You and this strange artifact, transforming, prolonging the suffering of people long overdue their rightful respite. Your heart echoes the pain seeping out from the doctor's voice. Her cries fill you with sympathy, yet her words confuse you. Are you suffering? Does your maestro treat you like a simple tool? He made you, of course, but were you someone before? I too have suffered at the hands of corruption, losing people I loved, who shared in my vision, who believed in my desire to rid this world of this affliction. Dr. Salvador shakes her head, looking back and forth between Octavio and the baton in her hand. No more. I have sacrificed everything to get to you, knowing that you're the key to ending this once and for all. Even though I have to do it all by myself, even though I am now well and truly alone, I can finally make things right. Dr. Salvador brings both her hands to either end of the baton, lifting it high, white-knuckled as if making to break it in half. Ah! Wait, no! You have no idea what you're doing! Break that baton, and you, me, Poppet, hell, make it this entire hospital and everyone in it are all gone. Gone. Or are all done. Gone. History. It's not a threat, it's a promise. Do you hear me? Hey, are you even listening? Drop the baton now. Ooh. You start to feel afraid, chills settling into your stitches. You don't know if you really made the right decision. Stop! Helpless, you stare as Dr. Salvador bears down on the baton. You wait in bated breath. Your frenzied anticipation eats at you inside as your maestro's frantic begging echoes off the tiled walls. Why isn't it? I can't. I told you to let the damn baton go. Ooh. 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 Something breaks. A sensation you don't recognize surges from within your heart, to your limbs, down to the very strings that sew you shut. Your vision flickers and your mind unfurls, consciousness slipping between your ichor-stained fingers. Ichor? That's not... You're not... Hesitantly, your eyes flick down. Oh, fucked up Poppet! Hell yeah, fucked up Poppet! Your fingers, they bleed black. They bleed black. Pain, confusion, guilt, sadness, regret, hurt, shame, grief. Pain. It hurts. Everything feels tight and loose all at once. The corruption that was promised to lie dormant inside you erupts, seeping out from your seams. Your body feels weighed down by immense pressure, something berserk and powerful, something primal. Through your tear-stricken eyes, you see the flickering of data in the air, dark and red and angry. Distantly, you wonder if that's all there is to you. If after all the care and nurturing your maestro has given you, that you're just purely corrupted code. That you're not supposed to exist at all. You try to grasp for help, desperation building inside you as the physical pain quickly becomes unbearable. With your tiny hands, you grab your face, clawing at the beast mask cracking beneath the forest, trying to keep it together, to hold yourself in one piece. You can't break, not right now. Your limbs unravel, unable to resist the creeping darkness threatening to consume you. With all your little poppet might, you fight. But it's not enough. Your whole body feels alight with fire, scorching you until you're dissolving into the black mire of corruption. Broken pixels and distorted noises emerge from the torn seams. Without the baton, the power of your maestro's strings falters. Grasping at the last fraying senses of control, you wrap your arms around yourself, trying to keep the unpredictable contained within. But still, it hurts. It hurts to move, to think, to feel. It hurts. Above all else, you feel remorse. Guilt eats at the darkness flaring up inside you, intensifying the pain of the data spilling from your seams in waves, the sticky tar of corruption accompanying their escape. You're crying. You can't feel anything but pain anymore, yet you know you're crying. Your head throbs and your vision blurs. Through tears, you start mourning the loss of yourself. Your body, made just for you, and your heart which is still beating despite it all. Your heart barely being kept protected by the very jail your puppeteer put in place. Your puppeteer. With great difficulty, you finally find the courage to turn, to face Octavio, your puppeteer, your maestro. A whine escapes your throat. The chair has toppled over, and with it, Octavio, still bound and struggling against the ropes. You can barely hear his haggard breaths over the ringing in your ears of your own groans of pain. In a flash, your aches give way to worry. Disregarding your own impending demise, you crawl towards Octavio. He shouldn't be looking like this. In panic, you lift your head, wincing at the dizzying blow the sudden action brings. You try to find help, knowing that your tiny body won't be able to carry him out, but Everything. Everything is in chaos. The overturned gurney, the banged-up freezers, the fizzling strings of code, and a black tar of corruption pooling around you like an oil spill. It's nothing like the cold, perfunctory, impersonal, albeit run-down morgue you've come to recognize. You panic. I know you're scared, but I'll be with you. Oh, we done fucked up, y'all! Octavio's softly spoken words echo in your mind, surfacing amid all the agony you're stewing in. Yet instead of reassurance, it only brings you heartbreak. Defeatedly, you look down at his vulnerable form. Down? Since when did you ever not look up at him? Poppet. No, it feels wrong for your maestro to be crumpled and hurting on the floor. He should be standing tall and proud. He should be smiling that smile full of enthralling mischief. He should be looking at you with pride for a job well done. Desperation bubbles up inside you. Can't bear looking at your maestro like this. You just can't. In a flurry of movement, unseen since your strings began to fray, your hands move to untie him, trying to be careful. Trying to be as gentle as he is when he gets the chance to sew you back up again after everything is over and done. No, you didn't mean to do that. Your little act of assistance causes the chair to break into a brace of splinters, freeing Octavio from his bindings yet slicing into his torn clothes and worsening his wounds. Your heart aches. This isn't how it's supposed to go. The doctor's voice cuts into your subconscious like a sharpened knife. Your senses dull and your limbs fall short, trying to help Octavio again. Instinctively, you turn at the sound, at the cause of all this pain. You're suffering at the one who made you betray your maestro. Even more dark, disjointed code spews from your wounds, alongside of the sticky tar that has now reached the doctor's once pristine shoes. No! Get away from me! Pain, fear, anger, betrayal, hurt, grief, resentment, rage. Anger. Emotions are so troublesome. Those are Octavio's words that stuck to you, said in a quiet afternoon in his workshop as he patched up a fellow poppet. Emotions are troublesome. One moment you're happy, the next you're sad, and then you're anxious if you're going to make the jump or not. But never in your short life have you felt something heated, all-consuming like the embers of hatred. Until now. Your consciousness is now far from recognizing you. The howl that erupts from your fractured mass, arms that have grown swollen and massive, and the heavy crash of footfalls. They no longer belong to you. Don't come any closer, you monster! Oh. Ah! Rage, anger, pain, loss, grief, corruption. Static buzzing rings loud in your ears, the choppy dissonance of code crackling beneath it all of it seeping from your frayed seams. Oop. Quiet. Beneath the static is an eerie quiet, like time has stopped and the world has frozen on its axis. You blink and you twist your head around. The sight around you is unfamiliar in its familiarity. The morgue. It's near unrecognizable, with the corruption overflowing from your veins, puddling on the floor and creeping up the walls. It paints a grisly scene. Pain. The dull throb of pain is ever present, yet secondary to the sudden panic that wells up in your now unshackled heart. Your gaze finds Dr. Salvador easily, for she is right in front of you, lying face down on the floor, unconscious. You scream, or rather, you try to. A deep, garbled sound escapes your body, foreign and strange. You wince, ears twitching at the unpleasant grumble. Tears start pouring from your eyes, feeling scared and disgusted at how you appear, how you sound. You're just a little guy. But your cries only intensify the monster's howls. You whip your head around in search of the one person who always soothes you, whose voice has never failed to be a balm to you. The one who you know can fix you and make everything right, make everything just like before. He's there. He's there, and you see him, and he's... Panic. You rush over to your maestro, pulling your broken body through the sticky tar of corruption, sweeping your heavy limbs to part the curtains of code floating in the air. You remember freeing Octavio from his bindings. You remember hurting him. You remember the pain, the regrets, the bad decisions. You betrayed him. Poppet? Hearing him speak, so small, so feeble, it's so unlike the maestro who stood tall under the grand stage lights of the theater. Pain. Oh shit! To the best of your ability, you carefully, ever so gently, lift Octavio from the ground. This fucking CG! This CG! His front is slick with corruption, the wisps of his hair and the tips of his fingers glowing from the data slowly seeping from his body. You're crying again. Your chest heaves and the hollow of your eyes sting, not from the pain still surging from your wounds, but from the weight of your betrayal dragging you down. Oh shit. Oh! Not him crying, the black tears! Oh, we've done it now. Ignoring the darkness looming over you, you lay Octavio on his back, cradling his head in your twisted arms. His arms lie limp at his sides, knuckles brushing the pool of thick ichor bleeding from your wounds. Your own body is barely holding together, at times liquid, then solid. It morphs into whatever the corruption wants you to be. Poppet. Still, he recognizes you. The striking glint in his eyes wavers, dulled by pain and fatigue. Even his usual pallor has turned waxy, as ashen as the specimens he keeps in his workshop. Seeing him like this hurts. Hey, don't cry. His pale lips curl into a tired smile, the movement slight and almost unnoticeable. Suddenly, more memories rush back to you. Your first performance with the others, your first performance with him. The way you nervously tottered onto the stage, yet you kept your head held high because he told you to. You remember the way you clambered up the set with your once tiny limbs barely keeping pace, but his encouraging voice held you strong. You remember. He caught you just in time. He saved you. He saved you. And what did you do? A light tap interrupts you from your spiraling thoughts. You turn to the side to see the baton, almost swept away by the dark river of corruption. The baton is still glowing, full of power, waiting for a skilled hand to wield it once more. You wail in relief. You pick up the baton with a free hand, feeling the surge of its power trying to mend you back together haphazardly. It recognizes the unbound corruption that you've become, but without a conductor to harness its power, it still can't piece you back together. Tenderly, you place the baton on Octavio's lap. You groan to get his attention, and his eyelids flutter open in recognition. You finally got me the baton. Good job, Poppet. I'm proud of you. The tears streaming down your face are endless, oozing from your hollow sockets and melding with the inky darkness, yet you can't hope to stop them. The baton lies still in Octavio's lap, his arms too weak to lift and grab it. In a desperate attempt, you take it again, this time thrusting it into his hand, trying to close his fingers around the thin shaft. Oh, okay, that was a really fucking cool little animation. But the code leaking from his fingertips makes it impossible. His hand, stiff, cold, refuses your futile efforts. Pain. The glow of the code begins to consume him adagio, first from his fingertips, then up to his palm, his wrist, to his arm. Soon, broken data flows from the gashes of his wounds. pain. The baton falls and is once again consumed by the darkness pooling at your feet, your hopes of going back home to the workshop fizzling to nothing. The music distortion, so good and so fucked up. It's so good and so fucked up. A fucking heartbeat layered over it too, bruh. You wonder if your maestro can still hear your cries, can understand your regrets and your apologies now that your strings have come loose, unbound from him. The choices that you made, the choices you continue to make, the choices to make things right. You wonder if redoing them can grant your maestro another chance at life. Octavio's eyes are open, yet they only stare listlessly at the ceiling as broken data consumes him. With all the pain in your heart, stay put, supporting him as much as you're able. You groan one more time, putting all of your unsaid words, all your sorrow into that one anguished cry. But no matter how hard you cry, no matter how loud you beg, you pray, you beseech, no one will heed your call. Quiet. It's so quiet in the morgue. Your arms sit empty, suspended in the air, holding onto a weight that's no longer there. Octavio. Octavio is gone. That was evil! That was fucking evil! That was evil! Doesn't say who did. Okay, no, it doesn't specifically say who did fucking Act 3. That was evil! Ow! Okay. So we did those two. So I think that's two endings. So, you know, we either walk into the sunrise with Octavio, or we fucking kill him. The CG gallery we can look through too? Okay, perfect. I will. Now we wait. Back into her office. Is it late? Yes. Should I be sleeping? Probably. Until tonight, you have trusted your maestro, implicitly and unconditionally. He made you, sealed and stitched your heart safe inside your chest. He caught you when you fell. But there's no one here to catch you this time. And with only yourself to rely on, you cave to caution, to the fear welling up inside you. Stay put. The baton gleaming at you like an accusation from where it lies. Poppet, Poppet, are you listening to me? Can you... You poor thing. Shaking from head to toe. You shrink back, Octavio's voice fading into the depths of your mind as Dr. Salvador leans in again, eyes shadowed, exhaustion etched into her face. Exhaustion and something else. Time-worn and aching. Sorrow turned outward. This woman, this stranger, knows what you are, called you by the name Octavio gave you. And she pities you. There's nothing to be afraid of, you know. Though I doubt I've made much of a case for myself with this whole business with your master. She says the word as if it's bitter to the taste. I'm really not going to hurt you. This place has seen enough hurt for a lifetime. For people like you, especially. Her gaze softens and her voice with it. Surely you understand. You've seen this hospital, the people that we treat, and you're just like them. You're corrupted, aren't you? You must be. Something in her tone is searching, pleading. She's right and she knows it, and yet you think she might prefer to be wrong. You chitter quietly, eyes downcast. The weight of her sigh tells you she understands. So the rumors were true. Octavio's poppets, corruption beasts, tamed like pets and turned to his will. Hearing about it is one thing, but seeing you up close like this... She pauses to take in a long, shallow breath. You notice her hands are trembling. This line of work never does stop breaking my heart. A loaded silence follows. heavy with a pain that feels foreign for all that the doctor seems to believe it's yours. You don't understand. There's a lot you don't understand, you realize. About this place, about Octavio, about the baton. It draws your eye again, that eerie glimmer from the desk. You'd almost forgotten you were waiting for an opening, but... that wretched thing. You glance back up, panicked, to find Dr. Salvador following your gaze, eyes narrowed at the baton. He sent you to fetch it for him, didn't he? That's why you're here, doing Octavio's bidding, retrieving the very tool he uses to poison this world. There's an uneasy cadence building in her tone, her words coming faster, less steadily. I can't be the only one who sees it, the only one who questions the public story. Controlling corruption beasts. How convenient an ability. Just leave them alive and let the nice man put them to good use. Don't mind the spreading corruption. And all the while, no one ever wonders where it all came from, as if there isn't one person in particular benefiting from it. Dr. Salvador looks up from the baton sharply, zeroing in on you as if just remembering your presence. You tremble. But it's over now. It's over. I promise. I'll never let this thing back into his hands again. Her words race through your mind, disparate pieces refusing to slot together with the truth of your life as you have known it until now. Your maestro hunts monsters. He kills corruption beasts, and sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he remakes them better. Sometimes a new poppet joins the workshop instead. It's that simple. Except sometimes you ask him questions he doesn't answer, and here you are, presented with more. Poppet! Octavio's voice bursts into your consciousness once more, measured but insistent. So you can hear me. The ideas you were getting, I thought you were going to... Never mind, it's not important. Please just do as I say this time. Get the baton and go already. Continue. You flinch, feeling your maestro's plea like a physical tremor within you, his tone off-kilter, out of time with his usual controlled rhythm. It's not quite fear, but it's in the same key. Octavio is nervous, you realize, as you stare the baton down, not moving an inch toward it, so as long as that odd, strained edge to his voice lingers in your mind. Nervous for what might happen to you, and his baton, if you stay longer, or for what you might find out. Don't want to lose you, Poppet. Of course I'm worried. The reassurance comes a touch too late, too quiet through the strings. You wonder if your maestro has ever lied to you, if you'd even know what a lie sounds like on his lips. Your mind is an open book to him. You know he senses your question, and yet no answer comes. I've seen you before. The doctor's voice is soft again, all balm and bedside manner as she regards your tiny form in the dim light. A sad furrow pulls at her brow. You were in his puppet show earlier today, weren't you? Yes, I watched some of it. Had to blend in with the rest of the theater staff, you understand? It was garish. A look of distaste crosses her features, mingled with melancholy. Chitter feebly, curious in spite of yourself. All those poppets, all those individual wills strung by and subservient to his and just used like playthings, like props. I doubt the audience thought twice, and how could they without knowing? To them, it's smoke and mirrors, it's showmanship, it's not real. They bought tickets to a puppet show, not a dance macabre. They aren't to know it's one and the same. But you, forced to obey, to leap to his every command up there. She draws a shaky breath, laced with sorrow. You must have been so afraid. You blink, head spinning with the weight of the doctor's words. You were afraid back then, though not in the way she seems to think. You remember the jitters in your heart, the way your hands shook backstage, and again, high up on the set. And each time, it was Octavio who made the fear go away. His voice urging you on, his hands guiding your path. You had your reservations at first, but he didn't force you to perform in the puppet show, did he? A shiver runs down your spine. The warm light of the theater suddenly chilled in your recollection, as you can't help but wonder, what other choice would you have had? You're a puppet. Serving Octavio is your purpose and your privilege, but what if you didn't want to? It's just a puppet. It's just a show, Poppet. It's just a show. If you'd wanted to back out, if you couldn't do it, I would have let you. No questions asked. I'm not a tyrant, you know? I just believed in you. I still do. It's that same voice again, the low, gentle timbre he's used to soothe your nerves time and time again. And you want to surrender to it, to trust him, but... Do you remember what he did to make you like this? Dr. Salvador leans closer, her tone somber as a eulogy. You find yourself no longer reflexively shying away from her presence, terrible curiosity outweighing fear, though her question perplexes you. Does it pain you, being bound to his will, living like this? More questions you don't know how to answer. This is the only way you've ever lived. Octavio's will the only other you have ever known. Still, the doctor seems to draw something of an admission from your silence, pity etching itself onto her face once more. You have no idea, do you? Where it all comes from? What a corruption beast is before it's a corruption beast. Your master's work has haunted my own like a second shadow for so long now. Corruption outbreak sites are always chaos in the wake of an attack. We take what help we can get, bounty hunters included. But this Octavio doesn't come to help survivors. He comes for the lost. We treat who we can, and sometimes the ones we know are too far gone to save just vanish. And when that happens, the last person seen with the terminally corrupted is always him. You quiver under the intensity of her gaze, the bitterness on her tongue. Don't you see? If you're corrupted, if he stitched and sewed that tiny body from the remnants of a beast, then it means there must have been a time when you weren't. Not only did he take that life from you, but he won't even let you rest now that it's gone. There's an intensity in the doctor's eyes, a certainty that shakes your own understanding of your world to its very core. You know you were once a corruption beast. Your maestro makes no secret of it. That you do not remember that life has always felt like a mercy more than anything else. Corruption beasts are monsters, after all, and you don't want to be a monster. Haha. Sorry, I kinda made you one last time. Oops. But then, why does the doctor seem so sorry for you? You're better this way, given life and a modicum of will, a home in Octavio's workshop. You can't be like the corrupted patients in this hospital. There can't be a before for you, no matter how familiar some of the things you've seen here might feel. There can't be, because if there were, you would remember. And if you didn't remember, why would Octavio keep it from you? Poppet, please! I've never heard your maestro's voice so grim as it sounds right now. I'll explain everything. Every single thing, I promise, but not while you're still in danger. This doctor doesn't have to lay a finger on you to hurt you. There are things words can do to you that I can't fix. And if I'm going to make any of this right, I need my baton. So bring it to me. Your eyes flick again towards the baton, pale and eerie upon the desk, its presence tugging at you like a physical conduit for Octavio's will. Once, that pull would have been a comfort, a reminder that no matter how far you wander, you are never truly alone. But now, you're not sure how it makes you feel. Not sure of anything at all. Don't do this, Poppet. Not now. For once, your maestro's voice feels like an unwelcome intrusion, another layer of noise vying for attention amidst the growing static in your thoughts. Octavio's voice, Dr. Salvador's words, the question of your memories, your life, your identity. No sooner does your mind alight on one before the next swallows it whole. Just focus on me, Poppet. You shiver where you stand, a tide of no signal gray threatening to drag you into its undertow. You aren't swimming, but you are drowning all the same. The baton in front of you seems as much an anchor as a lifeline, and rather than risk the depths, You turn your gaze once more to Dr. Salvador. She looks down at you, something about her expression fragile, fractured. So small. Her voice cracks. She smiles like she'd rather cry. Nothing to you at all. So little left. For everything you must have been before. Static again. Thoughts you don't want. You chitter, shaking your head as if you might dislodge the sensation. Still, you find yourself unwilling to leave. You don't have to believe me. Corruption takes, and it takes, and it takes. Whatever's left your master has clearly made short work of. But I want to help you. I want to help them. Every soul in this hospital, every person out in the wastes bleeding black and believing themselves already dead. I told you we do what we can. We do what we can to slow the onset, ease the pain. There's so much we just can't. So much we couldn't, unless... Her fingers twitch, giving an aborted spasm towards the baton, the movement quick, terrible. You watch resentment flash across her features before she snatches the hand away. No, I'm not him. I won't. I was just... Your eyes zero in on her still trembling hand, now pressed tight to her chest by the fingers of the opposite hand as if she's afraid it might disobey her again. Sharply, she turns her back on you, the tremor creeping to the set of her shoulders as she casts her gaze to the moon through the cracked window. She breathes, loud in the quiet of the office for several dragging moments. I've given so much for this place. Money, my reputation, hours and hours and hours of my life, sleepless nights on sleepless night, even my own flesh and blood, my... The words seem to choke her. In the moonlight, her eyes are all but the whites, her voice faltering to nothing on an awful, hitching rasp nearer a retch than a breath. You are unobserved. The baton is right there. You could not ask for a better opening than this. The limbs feel too leaden with sorrow and fear to take a single step. I'm sitting up straight, I swear. A fragment of a moment passes. Dr. Salvador's fingers scrabble for the locket at her neck, clinging as if to a talisman. Looking at it makes white noise crackle at the back of your mind. We made this hospital what it is. Together. No dreams, no lofty ideals. Just, we had to do something. Our line of work shows you Elysium at its absolute darkest, its most bleak. It weighs on you, but less so when born between two. Even when our priorities diverged, I believed, once I explained what I discovered about corruption, about Octavio, we'd fix things. Agitated again, pitchy. Her voice isn't right. You don't feel right. The story hurts like you've heard it before. In your peripheral vision, dead pixels wink and burst like stars. I never wanted to stop him alone. I never wanted to do any of this alone. I offered and I begged and I hoped that in time, the one person who mattered more than anyone else in this place would understand just what this meant. Dr. Salvador whirls around, entire frame quivering in rage, in pain, in loss so heavy you could buckle under it as you meet her eyes. And your world stutters. Touch off axis. An errant line of code. A glitching sensation rends your vision, your hearing, your thoughts, only to pass as suddenly as it had come. Your vision clears. It's night. You're in Dr. Aria Salvador's office. Nothing has changed. Everything has changed. The doctor is pacing behind her desk. Short, brusque steps from bookshelf to cabinet to bookshelf again. You're watching. Something about your perspective feels off. Fire. I'm telling you, I have something. It's impossible. A breakthrough. The source of the corruption. She pauses then, looking at you expectantly, eyes bright with fervor. You don't respond. A frisson of something ugly hums within you. Fury that both is and isn't your own. You're at your wit's end and you don't know why. The silence drags. Her eyes grow a fraction duller, a furrow forming between her brows. You're upset. I gave you the best news of our careers, of our entire lives, and you're sulking? You know I would have told you sooner if I could. I always wanted to tell you before anyone else, and now I can. Oh my god. Water. It's him, the bounty hunter, the one with the puppets. Him and his baton at the heart of it all, and we could end it. We could cure it. I know you want that as much as I do. You have to, or you wouldn't still be here. And if you just help me, then we can... Aria. A voice cuts her off. The voice of the only other person in the room. Oh, shit! Yours? Hey! Hello? Oh my god, hi. Fuck's hair about in here. At myself. Can you listen to yourself for 1 second? You think I'm angry because you kept this from me? You really think that's what this is? What other reason could you... You left, Aria! For weeks at a time, you swanned off to hell knows where, chasing ghosts, while there were people in this hospital who needed you. Everyone here thought you were losing it, that you'd cracked under the pressure, that one day you wouldn't come back. I kept telling them over and over that you're not like that, that whatever you were working on had to be something important. But this? You abandoned everything we built for what? A half-baked vendetta against some guy who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time? You're not listening to me. Then I guess that makes two of us. A furious breath burns in your lungs, your throat. You can't bring yourself to look at her anymore. My rounds are waiting. I'm not doing this right now. I can't. I'll be around if you change your mind. Motion. Your body turns in the space, away from the doctor, and before you, you see only static again. Jittering, shuddering, the dull roar of a slate ocean crescendos in your mind, louder than before, pulling you deep, deep below until... Poppet! Poppet! Eep! You jolt, your maestro's voice as much a sound as it is a hand wrenching you from the tide. Strange vision fades as suddenly as it had come, and you're you again. But your relief at being of your own mind once more is short-lived as Octavio continues to speak, less questioning and more interrogating. What was that? What did you see? Your thoughts, Poppet. Damn it, I never should have let you out of my sight. Not here. The strings that bind you to him throb with a cold rage that chills you almost more than the looming figure of Dr. Salvador, mid-sentence, her words not reaching your ears. You've done something wrong, seen something you shouldn't have, but you didn't mean... I know you didn't mean to, and it doesn't matter. What matters is that you'll have to forgive me for this. Bring me back my baton. Now. You are not given a choice. Through your bond comes a sudden, dizzying sensation, a compulsion undercutting Octavio's words that seizes your body from your control. And you move. A gasp of shock leaves Dr. Salvador's lips as your body lunges for the baton, your tiny arms wrapping around it and clutching it tightly to your chest. Oh. Exactly as I commanded, just don't look back. You're not questioning if you tried, you want to stop, hide, take a moment. But you're little more than a marionette now. Octavio's will absolute, and your body yours in name only. I don't know what you're doing, you can't. Bolt out, baton in your possession. Chasing. Lose your footing as you trip down the steps. Do not damage the baton. Could attempt to evade her. Okay, we did this. Lit room. So much pain, stop thinking. He's right, you stop thinking. A few things are different. Lights are on, doctors and nurses. No time to catch your breath, you need to get out of here. Move. Ook. Get a bucket. Medical trolley. Gonna be okay. Focus. Stop it days. Blah, blah, blah. Another option, then move forward. Have you seen a tiny poppet? Poppet. Ooh, I don't know how to get the third ending. Get out of my way. Stop whatever you're doing now. No one's stage 4. Just pull yourself together. Blah, blah, blah. Get out of my way. I can entirely empty. What if I... Okay, well, we're gonna get yonked. Shuffle maneuver to deter. Early moment later. Gelled heart racing, you will yourself to stay still beneath the crumpled papers. You start to panic as the footsteps get closer and closer. And that's when you realize the baton you're still holding glows. Feel a hand digging around inside as you instinctively let go to reposition yourself. But it's too late. Bell jar. Okay, bell jar. You hesitated, you are a failure. Try again. Yes. Okay. Did that. Another reminder in your life. Finally make it out. Due to your small stature. Just have to... Okay. Nod your head. What the hell are you thinking? There's no time to formulate a response with your thoughts. The doctor is almost upon you, faster than you, bigger than you, every footstep making you tremble, but you still have the baton. Poppet, don't! Turn on your heel. Baton swallows you. Last-ditch effort to knock her off balance. Oh, shit! It works! The heavy contact you feel from her foot to the baton makes you move slightly, but not nearly as much as she does, as she topples over the edge of the stairs. And over you. As she's falling to the ground, you fail to get out of the way in time. Her flailing hand reaches out and closes around you, an iron grip carrying you down with her. Oh. Oh. I got jarred multiple times. Gravity, blah blah blah. Smack, smack, smack. Okay, so I gave the... So I gave it back. Okay, so I've done this. So what if... If I go back to the very beginning and I do it never stopping to pause and look at something and just like blindly trusting him, does that it? Yes, I would like a hint on how to get the final ending. Like if it was something that I needed to look at. Missed something in point and click? Okay. It was the filing cabinets, wasn't it? Book! Which means I think I have to start all the way over. Yeah, I sure do. Oh, fine. A skip button? Yeah. Skip. Oh, let me. Meow. Okay. Wow, I love speeding through. Okay, here. Ever since overhearing the hospital staff, you cannot shake off this feeling about Dr. Salvador. What you know so far is that she's a medical professional with unusual habits and is generally disliked by her staff. But how does this connect to Octavio? Why kidnap the puppeteer in the first place? You repeat these thoughts in your head, trying to make sense of the doctor's motives. Octavio, on the other hand, remains silent. Usually, he would provide his input, but now it's like he's ignoring your questions. Well, if he's not going to respond, you might as well investigate it yourself. You continue roaming around the nurse's station until you find yourself in front of the filing cabinet. Aha! There's information to be found. Surely the filing cabinet would have it. You gaze up and identify the labels written beside the handles. Finances, equipment, patients, personnel. You reach the personnel drawer and tug at the handle. It budges. Good. At least it's not impossible to pull out. You huff and you puff and you pull on the handle with all your might. After a few more attempts, the drawer pops out. However, you miscalculate the final pull and you begin to fall backwards. Flailing your arms does not break your fall as you land with a loud thud. Squeaking in pain, you cradle the back of your head and massage the forming bump. Oof, it sounds like it hurts. Good, Poppet. Good. Your vision is full of stars, but at least Octavio's voice is crisp and clear in your mind. Well, if you can still joke like that, then I suppose you are just fine. If only you could send your glares back to Octavio. Once your vision clears, you get back up and check what you have pulled out. For hospital reference only. Treatment and management guidelines for patients with records corruption. Ooh. Beside the pull drawer, a stack of bound papers catches your attention. It must have fallen from the drawer when you pulled it out. You reach for the item and begin inspecting it. You find the stack of worn pages in a state of disrepair, edges ripped and dirty plastic binding chipped and cracked from years of use. There's a crumpled, faded sticky note on the cover, which specifies the document to be for in-hospital reference only. It wouldn't hurt to take a quick peek, would it? The bottom corner in front of you reveals the document to be compiled by Aria Salvador, Chief Medical Officer. You recall the name from both the nurse's conversation and the ID card you found not too long ago. After a small struggle with the comparably large notebook before you, you manage to read the journal's title, Treatment and Management Guidelines for Patients with Records Corruption. You read the title twice over, sensing a thought just out of reach before the feeling vanishes. As you flip through the meticulously typed pages, you find details on the ailment, complete with various symptoms and their respective treatments. Loose photographs between pages depict examples, showing close-up images of peeling skin and brittle, blackened fingernails in full color. You only glance over the text, reminding yourself in the back of your mind of your purpose here. Still, a few short phrases catch your eye. Symptoms in patients at stage 2 may include may include deformation of limbs, blackening of veins, occasional paranoia. A few pages bear scribbled notes, some in jagged, hasty letters, and others in neater, rounder writing. Regardless, smudges, stains, and tears render the text mostly illegible. You spot the occasional hypothesis on a potential cure, but all are scratched or scribbled out, almost like others in the hospital were opposed to such a notion. From what you can understand, records corruption is viewed as a terminal illness. The hospital focused solely on relieving the physical and mental suffering of its patients. You can't help but feel bad for both the ill and staff alike. Having to constantly be surrounded by such grim conditions can't be easy. Nevertheless, you continue to flip through the journal, remembering your objective. As you near the last few pages, a section of highlighted text draws your attention. Regarding treatment. Due to the frequency of dangerous and unpredictable behavior at this stage of progression, stage 4 patients must immediately be transferred to the appropriate ward room. Treatment must only be administered by Dr. Salvador in conjunction with attending physician to ensure the safety of both patients and staff. You notice the words attending physician have been written in block marker over a typed name, but you cannot make out the original text. Failure to adhere to hospital procedure poses a risk to patient well-being, while also exposing staff to the danger of contracting similar symptoms. You remember the nurses earlier, how they rushed to the patient's entire routine. It seems that your initial impression of records corruption was an underestimation. You take a moment to commend the staff for their professionalism, even in this run-down hospital, forgotten with the passage of time. You think for a moment what a miracle it is that none of the staff seem to have fallen victim to the corruption. Octavio's voice snaps you back to reality. You close the journal before you get absorbed into its contents once again. So these are the guidelines this hospital follows for treating patients with records corruption. Very detailed guidelines, but the further you read into it, the more these terms start to make sense. Although, isn't this supposed to be the first time you've heard them? There's this strange sensation in your mind, like it's déjà vu? You don't understand why that could be. As you continue reading, you hear Octavio give a thoughtful hum. Records corruption is not to be trifled with. Can it be considered brave or reckless for them to put their lives on the line? You surprise yourself when you give a solemn answer. Yes, you do think they are brave people. They are doing their duties despite the many risks of records corruption, after all. At least these people are here to help those in need. Octavio goes silent. He perhaps angry. Just as you're about to apologize, he begins to chuckle, like he's amused by your response. I suppose you may think of it that way, but that's enough reading, Poppet. Remember, you still have to find my baton. Alright, the mission. You did not expect to get this drawn into reading about medical guidelines. But it is still a worthwhile find. You did learn a thing or two about Dr. Salvador and her role in this hospital. You return the journal to the drawer and push it back inside the cabinet. Best to make it look like nothing is out of place. Hurry up, before those staff come back and catch you here. He truly is an impatient puppeteer. You chitter in annoyance and stomp away from the cabinet. As you leave, the world still feels like it's reeling. Not certain if it's because of the bump on your head or the information overload you just read. Do I need to look at the notice board for the newspaper clipping? Or can I just skedaddle? I would like to be spoon-fed now, please. Thank you. Please. Okay, so I do need the newspaper clipping. Okay. Even though the hospital staff have left the area. Okay, I wrote this earlier. Furniture seems to loom. Turn around. Alright, calm down and breathe. Yay! No more panic attack. 2 more minutes. Neurom. Wow. Newspaper clipping. Yeah, we read this. This your ID card. You look at the other person. Scared. Badlands doctor. Former physician. Blah blah blah. When asked about it, blah blah blah. What an inspiring quote. Wow. Okay. We're close to finding the baton. Now can we skedaddle, Miles? I'm assuming that if I can continue from here, I go get the, like, case file on Octavio from the cabinet in the patient ward. And then I also bide my time and wait multiple times like I did. Think so? Okay, sick. I'll save here just in case. I'll overwrite that one. Yeah. Oh, the thing I missed is in the next room? Oh, shit. Push the doorway. Your room. Leave the room. Okay, so that's the same. Dang, it's just in the next room. What did I miss? Human forms. Next step. Blah blah blah. Okay. I looked at that. I looked at that, and I looked at. Eh? Very subtle. Okay, let me look around for a minute. And then if I can't find it, I'll come crying. Let me turn skip off. I feel like to you guys who know, you're just sitting there like watching me glance over it multiple times. Just like pointing and yelling. A lot of you missed it too? Okay. I think like that's interesting. I already did that. Did that. Stuck here for 10 minutes? Okay, I don't feel as bad anymore. Did the window. I keep hovering close to it. Oh, shit. I'll hate it so much when I get fuck. Okay. It's like this area that's catching my eye. Ah! Most of the bedside tables in the ward are bare. Easier to keep clean, maybe, or safer to not have anything there that could be knocked off. However, the end of one of the beds stands out for the simple reason that it does have something of interest. A clipboard, half peeking out of a slot built into the frame. Yeah, that's fucking evil. I was like, where the hell is this shit? If it was something important, it wouldn't have been left here so carelessly. Curiosity gnaws at your mind regardless as you approach. It hangs too high for you to grab easily. Maybe if you jumped, but memory of your earlier performance makes you hesitate. There's no puppeteer to catch you if you fall, and knocking the clipboard down could alert the nurse outside. It's not a gamble worth taking, but you aren't the type to give up easily. You look around, hunting for a path that feels a little less risky. You eye the bed itself, but the idea of being so close to the patient makes you uneasy. And the threadbare curtains are pulled too wide, too far away to make a jump for it. The various monitors and machines surrounding the bed look simple enough to climb, but you don't know how they work. What if you set off something by accident? You then peer up at the IV stand. If you're careful, you could scale the piping, using the various clamps and hooks as footfolds. You wonder if your maestro can sense your apprehension as you brace yourself. He doesn't comment on it, but you're very aware that he's a captive audience for this bizarre acrobatic routine you're about to perform. You take your first leap up, all 8 of your limbs finding secure grips on the tube as you begin the ascent. Scale upwards carefully, pausing when you hear the rustle of fabric to your side, the patient shifting restlessly in their sleep. When they stop and the room goes silent again, you wait just a moment longer before continuing. Your climb ends at the top, where the tubing connects to the IV bag. The constant steady drip continues uninterrupted by your climb. The clipboard is in clear view from here, and the arc of your leap down seems doable. Though the threat of you missing and hitting the ground, or worse, knocking the clipboard to the floor. You've made harder jumps before. Octavio, though clearly not thrilled by your decision to go up here, still chimes in with soft-spoken encouragement. You leap. The motion is smooth and practiced from your show rehearsals, though your landing isn't. You hear the bag swinging above you, but there's no sound from behind the doors, nor from the slumbering patient. Now to see if the clipboard's contents were worth the trouble. The current page is blank, but you free the other pages from where they've been flipped underneath, revealing several handwritten notes. As you skim through, searching for anything useful, one page catches your attention. A faded sheet of paper with a template for recording patient care. The name of the patient is completely illegible, and the assigned doctors has been smudged, leaving only the surname Salvador visible. There's a list of medications and their doses, along with brief descriptions of the patient's physical and mental state. Toward the bottom of the page lies a longer note written in sloping, messy cursive. You have to reread certain words several times to identify them. Patient's stable for now. I'd feel better if I could get Aria's eyes on him, but that's not happening anytime soon. She's either on a research trip or in her office planning the next one. I know this job can wear people down. I've seen plenty of good doctors burn out. I just thought that out of everyone, she would... The note stops suddenly, resuming after a short break in the page. Next round of meds needs to be administered in 8 hours. I have no idea if Aria will decide to make an appearance before I leave for the day. It seems like whatever she's doing in her office is more important than anything else here, including the patients we're supposed to be saving. Protocol for stage 4 corruptions calls for 2 attendings present during treatment. We don't have the staff for that right now, but I remember what my priorities are supposed to be. The words blur together, spiraling, and it's not just the writing, but also the world around you. Your balance falters and you stumble forward, landing mask first on top of the clipboard with a pitiful squeak. But the vertigo passes just as suddenly as it started, leaving you rattled and in no rush to stand. Octavio's worried presence is something you barely acknowledge, the unfamiliar sensation of dizziness taking precedence in your mind. You crawl to the edge of the slot, peering over the side to find the easiest way back down. Instead of a quick path, you find something else of interest. Trapped under one of the Trapped under one wheel of the bed, half crumpled, is another paper. It must have fallen loose from the clipboard. You judge the height, briefly uneasy as you stick your legs out to dangle off the edge. Confidence, as brief a flicker as it is, urges you on. You drop, landing lightly on the cracked tiles below, and scurry to the paper. It's a little effort to spin the wheel just so, enough to free the paper from where it's, pinned. You manage to do so without tearing it and pull the page loose to read it. A sheet of paper formatted in the style of the hospital's patient care logs. There are no medications or treatments to be found, but you recognize the looping penmanship of the author. Perfect match for the other log you found on the clipboard. Injury sustained from patient during routine treatment administered by unassisted physician. 3 centimeters long. Not deep enough to require more than a basic antiseptic cleanse and bandages. It's been 5 days with no changes. Doesn't bleed, but the wound has shown no signs of closing. I'm not going to bother running the tests. I already know what the results will be, and I'm not going to risk somebody else finding the records. I've been treating similar cases for years, and I've got a few months before I need any aggressive treatment. This is my mistake, and I won't punish the hospital by taking away one more doctor when we're already stretched thin. Thought about telling Arya. A few years ago, I would have gone to her before anyone. Hell, I'd let her put me on leave if she thought it was best. But right now, I think it's best if I don't tell her. With how she's been lately, her research takes up all her time. And The writer's text cuts off here abruptly, continuing further down the page with a steadier hand. Sometimes I wonder if she cares about anything else anymore. I don't think I want to find out. I'll have to take care of myself this time. I hope whatever she's working on is worth it. Hope she finally shares it with the rest of us before I have to go. You barely finish reading the last line before your vision snaps out of focus. Rather than a slow spiral like before, it's a sudden shift in your mind's eye. You're no longer looking at the handwritten log, but at an arm. A human arm. One so decidedly unlike your patchwork limbs. At the center of the forearm is an open wound, small and bloodless. The typically red trails of an infection are instead a deep, bruised purple under the skin. Some part of your jailed heart stings with recognition. Corruption. Then the vision is gone. You're looking at your own thread and fabric arm, trembling fist gripping the paper. You try and make sense of it, the sudden vision you had, the dizzy spell before, but Octavia's voice snaps you from your thoughts. It's nothing, Poppet. Don't dwell on it. If it isn't bringing us closer to finding the baton, then it's just a distraction. His tone is abrasive at first, and then softer, but still firm as he fine-tunes the harshness of his voice. A note from some begrudged employee isn't going to bring us any closer now, is it? It's hard not to think about what you saw despite his insistence, the vision reverberating in your mind. You finally loosen your grip on the paper, letting it flutter to the ground where it lands in a pool of corruption. The point of contact blooms, the black ichor soaking through and rendering the contents illegible, the writing all but consumed by it. You learned nothing about the baton's location despite your best efforts. And what you did learn has made you feel worse rather than better, leaving a knotted feeling like tangled threads in your core. With more questions than answers, you step away from the now ruined paper, addled. Do I need the, case notes on him? I'll get them just in case. I think that's all I need, right? I'll save here just in case. Leave. Okay. Shuffling fabric. Oh my god, hi. I have to wait for a safe opening, right? Because that'll give me the second listen to her monologue. Okay, sick. It's over now, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna continue to wait for a safe opening. Oh shit, wait. Ah! Apparent line of code, glitching sensation runs your vision. Okay. It's night. Everything has changed. Doctor is pacing. Something is breakthrough. Source of the corruption. Okay, I watched this last time. Wow, it's me! Over and over, you don't like that. Not listening to me. Makes two of us. Oh. Okay. Into... Okay, so we do this. Wow. Okay, yoink. Corrupted patient ward. A few things are different. Lights are on. Doctors and nurses. Black Iker. Poppet. Blah, blah, blah. Not blah, blah, blah. This was all very carefully written. And I enjoyed it. And I read it. But it's late and I'm tired, but I want the final ending. Leap of faith. No. My bad. And do I give it to Dr. Salvador or... Oh, hello! Found it. Remember! Your head snaps back and forth between them, searching for clarity that won't come. Static builds in your skull, crackling and hissing like broken radio frequencies. Sound mingles with something else, the phantom pull of Octavio's strings, the invisible threads still wrapped around your thoughts even now. It's overwhelming, Dr. Salvador's urgent voice bleeding into that distant, softer call from your past, while the string's influence weaves through it all. For a moment, you're paralyzed. The noise in your mind swells to a crescendo, present and past, control and memory, all crashing together until you can't think, can't choose. You glance back. Dr. Salvador stands framed in the door's fractured glow, her silhouette sharp, her breath hitching. But your vision cracks. Oh. Oh. And suddenly, you're elsewhere, somewhere that doesn't taste like despair. Someone's calling for a crash cart down the hall. That medication trolley with its perpetually squeaky third wheel rattles past you. Compared to the morgue, with its flickering lights and the stench of antiseptic that can't quite mask the rot, this feels like the last trace of something that once resembled hope. Arya is just a few steps behind you. She's close enough that you feel her presence before you see her reflection in the dim glass of the fire extinguisher case. Her hands are balled into fists, trembling at her sides like she's gripping onto the last pieces of her composure. You hesitantly turn to face her. But that's it. You're just leaving. Her voice trembles in the same way she used to when she couldn't save someone, when you stayed up until dawn cataloging new records corruption symptoms together. You know that's not the reason why I'm doing this. Then explain it to me, because all I see is you walking out on everything we built like it means nothing to you. I have more opportunities to help victims out there. And what about here? What about the people who need us? The ones we swore to protect? The pain in her voice catches you off guard. You look away. You just can't bear to look at her. Please don't make this harder than it already is. We started this together. You were the one who told me we'd never abandon them, that we don't leave people behind. And I meant it. I still do. But this place, it's not the same. It's not what we meant it to be. You honestly believe that? The black veins threading through your arm throb in response, pulsing with the hunger you can barely keep contained. You believe it because you have to. Because the alternative is admitting what's really happening to you. The Arya I knew hated watching people suffer. She'd stand in the hallway clutching a clipboard, tears in her eyes, fighting tooth and nail for one more scan, one more dose of medication. Don't you recognize yourself, Arya? Do you really have to go this far? You're too busy chasing all these meaningless rumors and conspiracy theories to even turn an ear to their screams leaking through the walls. And the ones dying downstairs, they won't blame corruption. They'll blame you for feeding them these lies about peaceful endings. Arya flinches. You know you've hit something raw, something she's tried so long to ignore and keep buried. Now it's come to the surface, and there's no putting it back. I thought, more than anyone else, I thought you'd be the one to understand. You walk away now, how are you any better than me? Your gaze drops. The static in your arm hums beneath your coat like a living thing. You curl your fingers behind your back, hiding the tremor that's becoming impossible to control. Because I gave this place everything I had, every piece of myself I could spare. And now, if I want to keep helping the people who are still suffering out there, I have to go. Silence crashes down between you. It's not the comfortable kind that you used to share over graveyard shifts and unspoken grief. This is empty silence, like the air itself is holding its breath, waiting for either of you to say something that will fix what can't be fixed. So we've come to this. Her voice is barely above a whisper, and there's something unraveling behind it. Confusion, disbelief, the tail end of hope slipping through her fingers. But if you stay, she might ask what you meant. She might see the truth you've hidden beneath your sleeve, the thing that's been eating you alive from the inside out. You slowly turn away from her. It's easier than explaining, easier than seeing her heart break in real time. Goodbye, Arya. You don't look back, but you feel the flicker of movement, the way she starts forward like she's going to stop you. A breath catches behind you. A step forward, a question dying in her throat before it can take shape. And then... Wait, Calon! Ooh. Ooh, name drop. You blink back to the present, back to the morgue where the air bites at your skin with teeth of rust and dark ichor, to the Arya standing in front of you. You try to process what you saw, but something unfamiliar begins to shift inside you like a gear locking into motion. Something that doesn't feel entirely your own. You once trusted Arya more than yourself. She was your family. Now she's looking through you like you're a shadow cast by the wrong light. Your tiny eyes hopelessly search for a hint of recognition in hers, but there's only desperation staring back. There's only the manic, clenched hunger of someone trying to prove the impossible, no matter the cost. She's not the one who used to fall asleep in conference room, half sprawled across your shoulder, or the one who made you laugh during disaster drills and argued with you over terrible hospital coffee at 3 in the morning. That version of her doesn't exist anymore. That version of you doesn't exist anymore. You want to cry out, to call her name, to reach past the distance between you and shatter it with the weight of everything left unsaid. But the voice you once had is gone. You're a puppet now. You're his puppet now. He blessed you with this life to revere, to submit, to follow. So you feel the only human thing left to you. Your jailed heart. The whispers in your mind grow louder, more insistent. You shake your head, trying to block out the memories surging upward like bile in your throat. Your thoughts blur, drowning in static. All you want is for it to stop. To crush these feelings before they can root themselves in your ribs. To bury them deep, deeper than breath, deeper than thought, where they won't claw their way back to the surface. But grief is a living thing. It breathes, gnaws, and learns, wrapping around you like a barbed wire, tightening with each memory. Poppet, look at me. Don't let it take you. Don't disappear. I can fix this. I will. Just give me the baton and I'll make it right. I swear it. Let me carry the pain for you. You force your eyes towards your maestro, towards something, anything that can anchor you to this moment before you drift away entirely. Your fingers tremble as you reach for him. The baton weighs heavier now, as though it too remembers what was lost. You just want to give it back. You want to place it within his grasp and watch relief flood his face, to hear him say, "Good job, Poppet." But just as you take another step, pixels rupture beneath your skin, burning hot, then cold, crackling like exposed wire. Your vision fractures into flickering shards. Your fingers lock. Your wrist spasms sideways. You stumble. You feel your legs betraying you. Something's wrong. You are wrong. The realization hits like a physical blow, and you can only stare and chitter at your puppeteer with growing, helpless horror. Octavio's eyes widen, his lips part, stunned recognition sweeping across his face like a storm front gathering deadly momentum. You will be fine. You're still you, all right? Just hand it over. His voice cuts sharp across the unraveling air, thick with desperate urgency. He knows what this is. He's seen this devour others before. But then... oh. The floor beneath you vanishes, as if torn away by some unseen conductor's hand. You fall, through layers of cracked code, through corrupted memory. And when the pieces settle, reality has shifted, dragging you back to the Badlands. A crimson sky churns above like an open wound. The earth hums with heat and hunger. Sand scours your legs like it resents your presence. A sharp, metallic ringing cuts through the haze, like the aftermath of a snapped string. Your vision swims, static buzzes at the edges of your hearing. You blink once, twice, then shapes begin to take form. The cracked horizon pulls into focus. A gust of wind kicks up the dust, and through the shifting curtain of sand, you see a figure. Collapsed, bleeding, familiar. Please save me. You drop to your knees beside the wounded woman before the ache in your chest can catch up. Blood smears across your fingertips as you press into the wound, shallow enough to save, deep enough to kill if you're too slow. She winces. Her breath stutters. Her hand finds your sleeve, clutching like she might vanish if she lets go. I know it hurts a lot, but just hold still, okay? I need to clean this wound or it'll get worse. I thought I was going to die, but then you came. Thank you. Her voice is thin as paper, yet it folds heavy against your ribs. No more words, just that look, wide and grateful and alive. Don't worry, we're almost done dressing your wound. Let me just... The roll of bandages slips from your fingers. You don't feel it fall. You only hear the soft thud it makes in the sand. Your mouth opens, but the words never land. Sound crumbles on your tongue, corrupted halfway out. Glitched static chokes your voice like a radio detuned mid-sentence. Then comes the chill. Not wind, not fear, but a deep, creeping cold. It coils through your veins like frost, blooming inward until even your bones feel hollow. You glance at your arm. No, this can't be happening. It starts at your fingertips. Flesh unravels like cloth. Nails stretch into claws. Skin peels back into bubbling ichor, obsidian and oil slick, alive with intent that isn't yours. Let go of me, you monster! You try to step back, to pull your hand away, to prove that whatever she's screaming at isn't you. Your hand clings to hers with inhuman strength, tendons locking like wires pulled taut, like someone else's will has threaded itself through your bones. Get away from me! Someone, help me! Her voice cleaves through the air, shrill with terror, but no cry, no plea, no name can cut deeper than this. Didn't mean to hurt her. You never meant to be this, but somehow... In trying to save her, you've become the thing she needs saving from. And you hate that a part of you doesn't mind, that it wants to finish what you started. You tighten your grip. She writhes, pleads, but her voice is already fading beneath the thrum rising in your ears, like blood boiling, like strings snapping one by one. And you wonder, just for a moment, what it would feel like to crush her. Something whistles sharp through the air. A figure lands in your periphery like a thunderclap. No words, no hesitation. His baton flicks once, and the threads of blue whip past your cheek to snag the woman from your grip. You're safe now. I've got you. She vanishes into his protective embrace, carried away on his strings that move like extensions of his will. Something about him tugs at the edges of your fractured memory. A fragment of your human self claws its way to the surface. The bounty hunter, the name that Arya often mentioned, the subject of her unnatural obsession. You should feel relief. But instead, something else crawls up your throat, a surge of something primal. You're not grateful. You're furious. He took her from you, your prey. You whirl, ready to lash out at the one who dared interrupt, but the moment you face him, everything changes. Your claws are already buried in his coat. You don't even remember lunging, but you remember the sound, cloth ripping, skin tearing. He doesn't flinch. Not until you rear back to strike again and his strings lash forward, coiling tight around your wrists before the blow can land. But they don't stop there. More threads spiral around your arms, your torso, pulling with inexorable force. Your legs buckle beneath you as the blue binds tighten, dragging you down until your knees hit the ground with a sharp crack. Strings force your head up, neck craned at an angle that makes you look like a supplicant, like someone seeking absolution. You kneel before him, held in place by his threads. From this angle, he towers above you, pale and untouchable, his coat billowing like wings. Something inside you snaps. Not like breaking, more like remembering. Flash of clarity cuts through the static. For one precious moment, you're you again. His strings hold you fast, but it's not the restraints that keep you still. It's the weight of what you've become, what you've done. The monster in you recedes just enough for your human self to surface, gasping. Please, please don't let me hurt anyone else. I can't control it. End this. His expression holds nothing but terrible, quiet sadness, the kind reserved for watching something die. It's too soon to let your light fade. There is life within death. This isn't the end. He points his baton at you, a gesture like an elegy, less a threat than a promise, like a benediction whispered by someone who's already mourning you. Then, static hisses through your skull. The memory of your final moment breaks something within you, heart beating through the bars of its cage as the corruption surges back with vengeance. And then... you're back in the hospital basement. The morgue. No dust here, no sand. Just a place where the living come to catalog the dead. Oh no. No, the poor poppet! Deja vu claws at your gut. Your body warps and grows as you stagger toward Octavio, flesh stretching and reforming like clay. Each step leaves you less human than the last. Arya backs away from you, eyes wide, hand trembling over her mouth like she's just seen a ghost. Or worse, like she's seen what ghosts become when they refuse to rest. In that moment, you understand. This form you wear, twisted, unnatural, stitched from something that was once human, has made you unrecognizable to everyone who once knew your name. Everyone but him. Octavio's gaze doesn't falter. Even tied to that chair, arms bound, he meets your eyes and nods, like he sees exactly who you are beneath the warping skin. His movements are limited, stiff with injury and restraint, but his expression sharpens as his eyes lock onto Dr. Salvador's. If you really want to save all the patients in this hospital, like you said, then get them to safety now. His voice is firm, urgent, like a conductor raising his hand to cut through chaos. Arya doesn't respond right away. She's still staring at you, chest heaving, the shadows of the morgue lights flickering across her face. She shakes her head slowly, lips parting without a sound. She doesn't understand what she's looking at. Her feet shift. One heel slides back across the tile. She looks at Octavio now, as if only just realizing he's the one who spoke. Her mouth opens like she might protest, might demand something, anything, but nothing comes out. And then, you see it. A decision forced through fear. Her shoulders draw back, spine straightening like a surgeon bracing before the first cut. No words, no final look. The double doors explode outward with a violence that mirrors the fracture in your chest. Arya dissolves into shadow and silence, her footsteps a staccato rhythm that grows fainter with each beat, as if she's already fleeing, not just the room, but everything you've ever meant to each other. You don't dare turn to witness her departure. Your trembling fingers reach forward, fighting past the constriction threatening to crush your ribs, past the shrill ringing that drowns out reason, and tear through the final restraints binding Octavio. Each cord snaps like a small betrayal, fraying under your desperate touch. With shaking hands, you press the baton directly into his palm. Your knees surrender. You crumple before him like a penitent, not from exhaustion, through bone-deep weariness that threatens to claim you, but from the devastating weight of her retreating form. Arya's name echoes in the hollow spaces of your mind, the raw anguish that blazed behind her eyes before she turned away. Perhaps it is a kindness that recognition never dawned in her gaze. Perhaps it would have shattered what remains of you if it had. Poppet. Octavio trembles, not the calculated vulnerability he employs when caught off guard, but genuine tremors that cascade from fingertips to shoulders. You had not comprehended how rigidly he'd held himself until this moment of release. But the instant his fingers close around the baton's familiar weight, something fundamental shifts within him. You assume it's the return of the power that soothes him, the restoration of control, of safety, but then you witness what transforms his features. The careful mask he always wears cracks open. His jaw slackens, breath catches, eyes widening with something he can't hide. Fear. Real, bone-deep terror, not of what transpired in this cursed place, but of the possibility that you might never return to him at all. He closes his eyes and draws in a slow, deliberate breath, the kind of practiced composure he's wielded like a weapon for years. His fingers tighten around the baton as he counts heartbeats, willing his pulse to steady. He reaches for his coat, pulling it on with practiced movements, a small ritual of composure as he prepares to face the world beyond this miserable place. I had a feeling about this place, you know? Call it intuition or whatever, but I suspected something. I just didn't know for sure, and I sent you out alone anyway. That was careless of me. Memories can be dangerous. I should have known better than to let you face yours alone. I'm sorry. The apology crashes over you like a rogue wave, so unexpected, so achingly sincere that it threatens to undo what little composure you've managed to gather. Something in the way he says it makes you wonder what memories haunt him, what shadows he's spent years running from. You catch a flicker of something vulnerable in his expression, the way his eyes tighten at the corners, how his mouth pulls slightly downward as if tasting something bitter. A shadow that passes too quickly to name. Oh, the swell! The music! You don't press. Some secrets reveal themselves only when the time is right, only when the heart is ready to bear their weight. You emit a series of sharp, questioning chitters, the sound edged with wariness as those hollow eyes fix on him with unmistakable suspicion. There's that look again. Always so suspicious of me. Rather endearing, actually. But listen carefully, Poppet. Whatever shadows lurk in your past, whatever mistakes you think you've carved into stone, none of it matters to me. Not a single moment of it. You let out a soft, melancholic chitter, the sound trembling with uncertainty and something that might be grief for all the things you cannot say. You're still you, still the Poppet who just threw themselves into danger for my sake, which is either remarkably brave or completely mad, possibly both. And whatever comes next, you're stuck with me, I'm afraid. Lucky you, right? His smile carries the weight of promises made in darkness. No theatrical flourish, no performer's calculated charm. Just truth, honest and unvarnished, crinkling the corners of his eyes. You bring your hands together, fingers intertwining as you clutch them close to your chest. A soft chitter escapes your throat. What you did back there, that took real courage. Completely reckless, mind you, but brave. Most would have hesitated before throwing themselves into harm's way for another person. I mean, sure, I hold your strings, but this? You moved on your own. That's not obedience. That's devotion. Don't expect me to keep gushing about it, though. Can't have you getting a big head. He releases a long, quiet sigh, the kind that carries the weight of unspoken gratitude and emotions too complex for his usual theatrical words. Let's get out of this wretched place. We've got a lot of work to do, and I could use some coffee after all this drama. You tilt your head in that particular way that speaks of fond exasperation. Even now, even after everything, he deflects with humor, though you can see genuine emotion swimming just beneath the surface. What? Someone has to keep you grounded. Who better than me to make sure you don't get too full of yourself? He pauses then, and the levity drains from his expression like water from a broken vessel. His shoulders drop as he draws in a long, measured breath. When he speaks again, his voice carries new gravity. But we can't have this happen to anyone else, can we? We've got a reputation to maintain. People already think I'm trouble. Can't have them thinking I'm careless as well. You let out a weary chitter, the sound heavy with exhaustion from all you've endured. It doesn't have to hurt anymore. I can take it all away, like before. We can go home, Poppet, if that's what you want. For the first time, uncertainty creeps into his voice. This isn't a command, it's an offer, a plea. He's afraid you won't trust him again, afraid that what he offers isn't enough to make you stay. You brace yourself, half expecting him to raise the baton towards you, like in that fractured memory, like how this all began. But Octavio carefully sets the baton aside, placing it on the floor between you like an offering abandoned. He slides down from the chair to kneel beside you on the cold floor. His movements are deliberate, careful. His eyes never leave yours as he extends his gloved hand. Your choice, my Poppet. Yours alone. The words fall from his lips like a whispered prayer, so soft they barely disturb the air between you, each syllable weighted with reverence and hope. It would be easy to doubt, to remember the secrets and half-truths, the things left carefully unsaid, to run and keep running until your legs give out and your heart stops beating. The past will haunt you. The pain will find you in quiet moments. But here, with his voice weaving certainty through your doubts, breathing becomes possible again. Your answer lives in how your fingers curl around his, in the silent understanding that passes between you. You feel tension lift from his shoulders like armor finally falling away. A brilliant smile breaks across his face. Oh, he's so cute. Pure relief washing over his features like sunlight after a storm, the kind of joy that comes from a fear finally proven wrong. He remains kneeling beside you, but that familiar mischievous glint returns to his eyes, the same look that used to precede his most outrageous schemes. Just kidding. Let me control you. Iconic. Wow. Many clappings. Many clappings. Oh, hey, look, that's a familiar name. A couple familiar names. Points aggressively. Holy shit, y'all really cooked with this. Like, what the hell? Oh my god. I did it. You guys did it. This was so fucking good. Like... what the hell? Are y'all good? Like... god damn. Insanity. This was so fucking good. I'm not even a poppet, but my ass was invested. You don't have to be a poppet to, like, really enjoy this. Y'all are crazy, but it's a good crazy. Yeah, no, you guys made something incredible. Like, I genuinely enjoyed playing this, and like all the All the sprites, the backgrounds, the CGs, the music, all the GUI changes, everything. So good. So fucking good. Yeah, thanks to you guys for like putting it out there and like going through the crazy effort and like I'm sure pain to get it going and like put it out there to everyone. I hope many people play it. I hope Octavio gets to play it. I'll be manifesting. I'm like checking his schedule. Hell yeah. Damn. Once again, y'all fucking cooked. Thank you for playing Memento Solis. We hope you enjoyed our game. Please be sure to subscribe to Octavio Hollister's English because this game is inspired. I sure am, and subscribe to him. See each other again and again until infinity. Hell fucking yeah. Beautiful work. Absolutely beautiful work. Did everything? I did get everything. Sick. Yippee! Conversion to Poppet. Like I said, Oshi-in-law. He's my Oshi-in-law. I pay attention to what he does. I just don't watch his streams actively. To be fair, I don't even watch my own Oshi's streams actively. I'm tired. So, you know. But yeah. Stick it on this. Move myself out of the way. That was Memento Solis. Hell yeah. Thanks so much for hanging out, for bearing with me, and spoon-feeding me how to get that final ending. Much appreciated. Why is everyone hot? Why is everyone hot? Once again, thanks for putting together such a wonderful game. Really enjoyed it. And I look forward to anything y'all psychopaths do in the future as well. So thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, morning, evening, whatever time zone you may be in. Hope it is a fantastic one. And see you next time. Farewell.